Chapter 1861, Successor Assessment. Chapter 1861, Successor Assessment. Again. Again. Keep going. Long Fei did not give up after one challenge and one failure after another. This was an endless challenge. Even if he lost, it would be just as he said. As long as his life was still on the line, he wouldn't lose. Moreover, Long Fei's dictionary did not contain the word lost. Boom. Long Fei was once again sent flying. No one knew how many times he had already climbed up from the ground with much difficulty. The four of them are like one person. Spiritual communication, coordinated to a flawless realm. Long Fei was shocked in his heart. Seems like if you want to defeat them, you cannot use common sense. All right, I'll give it a try. Long Fei continued to issue challenges. This time his movements were extremely strange. But 10 seconds later, boom, Long Fei was once again sent flying. Still not enough. If they failed yet again, the four great Vajra Bodhisattva would not give Long Fei any chance at all. They were as if they were invincible, and no matter what moves Long Fei used, they would all have a way to break it. However, Long Fei did not want to use the blasting fist. This was because as long as he could defeat the four bodhisattvas, he would be able to obtain it. Can't destroy them? Huff, huff. Long Fei panted slightly as he stared at the four bodhisattvas between his brows. There must be a way to deal with them. There definitely is. A voice came from the darkness. What? Are you admitting defeat? You're so annoying. Long Fei shouted. As long as I'm still alive, I won't admit defeat. Ha ha ha. What's the use of a tough mouth? How could a brute like you win against them? The dark voice said. Long Fei ignored him. He summed up every challenge, but he really could not find any loopholes in the four bodhisattvas, nor was he able to find any way to defeat them. Again, Long Fei swallowed a pill, lowered his fists, and immediately rushed forward. Buzz. A Vajra Bodhisattva charged forward. As soon as he moved, he gathered his strength. His actions were a little like a tortoise's chi art, and he immediately sent a palm strike towards Long Fei. Boom! As their strengths collided, Long Fei's strength was instantly crushed, and he was sent flying once again. Long Fei yelled in midair, Damn, what's going on? Ha ha ha. He's not an opponent, is he? Brat, you should surrender as soon as possible. The voice came again from the darkness. Lose your ass. You're so annoying. If you have the guts, come out. Your elder will explode you first. Long Fei said fiercely, as his brain summed up once again. One bodhisattva movement. The other three bodhisattvas remain motionless. If the four bodhisattvas attack together, they won't attack immediately. They are puppets. Or should I say, that dark voice is controlling them? Also, the cultivation technique they released is very strange. It is completely unlike the cultivation technique in Devil Island. Long Fei's heart was filled with questions. Again, Long Fei rushed forward again. It's been a month, and Brother Fei still hasn't come out. Could it be? LV Shuangchuan asked worriedly. No way. I want to go in and find Long Fei. Ba Wang Hua stood up from the ground and walked towards the entrance of Devil Temple. He was stopped by the old monk before he could even enter the entrance. The old monk said slightly, You are not allowed to enter. Ba Wang Hua said, Senior, I beg of you, please let me in. It has already been a month. I do not believe that the exam will take a month. Tell me, how is he now? Long Fei told them about the time of 3 days, but it had already been a month, and Long Fei still hadn't come out. She believed that Long Fei would definitely not lie to them. The old monk shook his head and said, I'm the same as you guys. I don't know how he's doing, but no matter who it is, they can't go in. No, I want to go in. But Wang Hua was very worried about Long Fei's consolation. For the past few days, she only thought of Long Fei. Something was going to happen to Long Fei. She swore to burn this devil temple. The old monk looked at Ba Wang Hua and said, I advise you not to be reckless. Ba Wang Hua clenched his fists tightly, looked at the old monk, and said, I know I'm not your opponent, but no matter what, I still want to give it a try. Suddenly, the moment the heavy sword on Wang Tai's back fell, brown-colored bones extended outward from his body, and the aura on his body became different. Yan Nantian also stood up. The four of them walked forward. The old monk looked at the four of them, his gaze calm. He said, even if we let you in, you wouldn't be able to find him. Also, the gate of the Devil Temple will not open up to you because Long Fei is still not the master of the Devil Temple. The old monk hesitated for a moment before speaking. Ba Wang Hua was slightly taken aback. Long Fei wants to become the master of the Devil Temple? What is this assessment? The old monk said, the successor test. Yan Nantian was shocked. He is the successor to the Devil Temple? Why? Who exactly is Long Fei? Confusion. Devil Temple had existed for more than 1,000 years in the Devil Hills, but no one knew when it had appeared here or where it had come from. Flying Goddess shocked the world 1,000 years ago. From that year onwards, every single year, 10 sex exchange would be held in this place. Every single new king would receive a huge upgrade upon entering the Devil Temple, and this place was also known as the Devil Island's sacred ground. As for its source, no one knew about it, just like 1,000 years ago. But now there was a successor, Long Fei. Everyone was shocked. The old monk shook his head and said, Don't say it, don't say it. Ba Wang Hua asked, Will Long Fei be in danger? The old monk continued, You can't say it, you can't say it. Wang Tai asked, When will he be able to come out? The old monk said, You still can't say. All of your questions can only be answered by Long Fei. This humble monk can't answer anything at all. Now that the Devil Island is in chaos, you all should go cultivate. The day that Long Fei comes out of seclusion is the day that you too will know everything. The old monk slowly spoke. Then his eyes became empty again. The two of them were like two dried corpses, guarding the temple. Ba Wang Hua looked at the gigantic temple standing amidst the clouds, his fists slightly relaxed. Yan Nantian said, Let's go. Long Fei is definitely alive. He can definitely inherit everything in the Devil Temple. What we need to do now is to raise our cultivation. Otherwise, how do I follow him down? Wang Tai returned the heavy sword to his back, then turned and walked down the mountain. LV Shuangchuan followed him. Yan Nantian glanced at the Devil Temple and strode off. The last of the Ba Wang Hua muttered, Long Fei, we will be waiting for your return. I will wait for you forever. Chapter 1862, Return of the Four Holy Monks. Chapter 1862, Return of the Four Holy Monks. Long Fei was about to go crazy. No matter what you do, no matter how you try, no. Failure, failure, failure. His mind was about to collapse. Moreover, the most important thing was that his holy power value had all been used up. He had even killed all of the Sumi Ringzess, and he had also refined all of the spirit grasses that could be used to refine pellets. Over 10,000 divine spirit pills had been used up. His holy power value had been exhausted and had become zero. Right now, he was truly at the end of his rope. Without holy power value, he wouldn't even be able to unleash his cultivation technique, let alone being unable to use the blasting fist. Even if he could, he wouldn't be able to use it right now. Ha ha ha. Did you run out of divine power? You don't have a chance now, do you? Kid, admit defeat. The voice in the darkness laughed again. Long Fei roared angrily and said, "You're so ****king annoying. You want me to admit defeat? No way. If you have the guts, then kill me. Otherwise, I will never admit defeat." He was still thinking about the Bawanghua and the others. As long as he could clear it and defeat the 4 bodhisattvas, he would be able to bring them in to cultivate. This place would become an important cultivation base for him, and would be the best place to cultivate his strength. Give up? Impossible. Ha ha ha. Kid, you don't even have divine power right now. How can you fight back? He said this with a smile in the darkness. Long Fei said, "Can't we fight without divine power?" Without divine power. Are they just waiting to die? A strategy without divine power. While they were talking, Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and rushed forward again. He thought to himself, "Let's go all out. I do not believe." He had thought of countless strategies, and all of them had failed. It was as if the 4 bodhisattvas could clearly understand everything that was on his mind and break all of them. Long Fei simply could not do anything, and 4 bodhisattvas would not seriously injure Long Fei either. Every time he was hit flying, it was like boiling a frog in warm water. Who knew how much time had passed? Long Fei also forgot about the loss of time. In this darkness, there was no concept of time. There was only one thing on his mind: to defeat the 4 bodhisattvas. Boom! Long Fei was sent flying. This time he crawled up from the ground faster than he could ever get. He instantly charged back, his fist smashing down. Clang! A punch landed on a bodhisattva's body. There was the sound of a jar shattering. A lot of dirt fell from the bodhisattva that was hit, revealing a bright light. Huh! It hit. The first hit in a long time. Ha ha ha! Long Fei was excited. How many times had he failed? How many times had he been sent flying? This was the first time he had ever hit a bodhisattva. At the same time, Long Fei was sent flying. This time, he climbed back up even faster, his reaction speed faster than ever. Boom! Just a little more. He missed this time, but just a little more. Long Fei roared out, "Continue!" Boom! Like a madman, like a madman. Long Fei was completely like a crazy madman now. His white hair was in a mess, and his clothes were tattered. He rolled on the ground from time to time, and from time to time, he started to laugh maniacally. He was completely a madman. Boom! 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 Without the support of the God power, he used his fleshly body to carry them, and used his pure power of his cultivation base to attack them. Without caring about anything else, he kept on attacking them with a fearless heart. Time flowed on. Long Fei didn't know how much time had passed. However, he knew that the mud on the 4 bodhisattvas was becoming lesser and lesser, and they revealed their real faces' appearance. The golden sand wrapped around his body, long eyebrows drooping from the waist. It was an ethereal skeleton with an aura that Long Fei had never seen before. The feeling he got was very strong, the kind that was strong to the point of exploding. The sweeping monk of the Devil Temple is strong, right? However, compared to these 4 Vajra bodhisattva, it was nothing. It was just a feeling. And Long Fei felt that any one of them could easily kill him with a flick of a finger. But why didn't such a powerhouse use his full strength? Long Fei couldn't understand. He didn't want to think too much about it right now. Now, he was going to break the last piece of mud on them. This mud was like seal. As long as there was mud on their body, it would be suppressed. Boom! Long Fei's entire body was bruised and was in extreme pain. But no matter what, he would just use his full strength. With another punch, the last piece of mud on a bodhisattva was shattered. Buzz! A golden light shot into the sky. The bodhisattva suddenly stopped moving, maintaining a strange posture. A voice resounded in the air. The Tian Shu has returned. Buzz. The Buddhist sound of the bell rang out, shaking everyone's heart. Behind the Bodhisattva, there was a burst of Buddhist light which was extremely strong, so strong that even Long Fei was dumbstruck by it. Tian Shu Bodhisattva? When he was truly in a daze, he was once again sent flying. Long Fei rolled on the ground. After choosing 360 degrees, he climbed up again, and once again broke through the mud on another Bodhisattva. Buzz. Another set of Buddhist bells rang out. Heaven's End. Return. The Bodhisattva stood motionless on the spot, as if it had cast an immobilized technique. Heaven's End. Long Fei looked at the other two Bodhisattvas and asked, "What are you two?" Boom, boom. The last two Bodhisattvas had basically not gone to defend themselves and were directly struck by Long Fei. Furthermore, as the mud dwindled from their bodies, they slowed down. Buzz. Buzz. Two loud sounds rang out as golden light burst out from their bodies. Tian Yuan, return. Heaven's Rush, return. The four Bodhisattvas were all motionless. Tian Shu, Heaven's End, Heaven Origin, Heaven Rush. For Bodhisattvas, I've never heard of this. Could this be the Buddhist Bodhisattva of this world? Long Fei muttered in his heart. He didn't know many Bodhisattva names, but he was certain that there was no Bodhisattva with that name when Lord Tathagata sat down. However, right now, he couldn't be bothered to care about all that. Instead, he faced the darkness and shouted, "Old bastard, I've won!" Ha ha ha! A loud laughter rang out from the darkness. The laughter contained an excitement even greater than Long Fei's own, and he said, "Not bad. You've won. You win. You won, ha ha ha." He was very excited. This slightly confused Long Fei and said, "I've passed the examination. Now can you keep your promise?" "Of course. I will definitely do what I promised you. Long Fei, from now on, you will be the master of the Devil Temple. You will control everything here. There are 100,000 legacies here, and every single one of them came from difficulty. I hope that you can properly comprehend them and cultivate them. This can be said to be equivalent to your mother's painstaking efforts." His voice became somewhat sorrowful. Long Fei also recognized it and asked, "Who exactly are you?" The voice in the darkness hesitated. In the end, he still didn't say it out loud. However, in his heart, he thought, "Child, I'm your grandfather." The strong light shone in. Long Fei took a deep breath, then looked at the four holy monks behind him and said, "You guys stay here and cultivate by yourselves." For holy monks did not answer and just stood there. Long Fei walked out in large strides. "Little flower, I'm coming out. Now you can come in with me." Long Fei ran out eagerly, and in the instant he walked out, he stared blankly. Everything outside became desolate. The exchange venue was filled with weeds, as if no one had cleaned it up in the past few years. The splendor of the past was no longer there. In its place was desolation. The moment the two old monks saw the door open, their empty eyes shined with a bright light, as if they were dried wood in spring. At that moment, their bodies trembled slightly as they looked at Long Fei, who was standing at the entrance. The body that they had not moved for many years suddenly bent and bowed to Long Fei. "Welcome, King, the new master of the Devil Temple." Long Fei was a little shocked and said, "It became like this? Where are they?" An old monk said slightly, "Gone." Long Fei asked again, "How long have I been inside?" The old monk replied, 3 years and 7 days. 3 years. Long Fei's heart trembled. He basically could not feel the passage of time inside. And even if he had stayed inside for a very long time, he never would have thought that he would stay inside for 3 years. His entire person was in a bad mood. Time was very important to him. If he stayed in one place for 3 years, then wouldn't the outside world change drastically? Long Fei's heart secretly tensed up and asked, "How is the outside world?" The old monk saw that the exchange was in a state of desolation and said, "It's just like here. 3 years ago, you killed Fate Envoy Nielin. 3 years' time. The change was too fast. You can't even imagine. Moreover, Long Fei's disappearance had a huge impact on this world. The change in dynasties of 10 sects, the change in 10 cities, everything was different now. But there was one thing. The destiny god controls the entire situation. Still, no one dared to go against God. Compared to the past, there were many more temples with believers in the destiny god. Long Fei stood at the edge of the cliff, looking into the distance. "It's been 3 years, little flower. How are you guys?" At this moment, Desperate Man's figure quietly flashed and appeared behind Long Fei, saying faintly, "It's time to enter society." In these 3 years, Desperate Man had never left. His duty was to protect Long Fei and to stay close to him. From the moment Long Fei entered, he knew that Long Fei would definitely come out, and he had waited here for 3 years. Period. LV Shuangchuan and even Yen Nantian had returned several times. They were also waiting for Long Fei's return, but they didn't even arrive. Caw! With a sharp cry, a gigantic red-crowned crane dropped from the sky and floated beside Long Fei. Flying crane. Long Fei glanced at the Desperate Man behind him and said with a slight smile, "You're right." And then Long Fei took out the Sumi Rings S. The Devil Temple was already desolate. Long Fei wanted to take him away. There were 100,000 different inheritances. If he did not cultivate, then he would need 100,000 people to learn them. Devil Temple sucked. In the Sumi Rings, Long Fei stepped onto the flying crane, moved slightly, and said, "Return to God Rare Sect first." The flying crane spread its wings and penetrated into the clouds almost instantaneously, disappearing without a trace. Jinwu, you only have 3 days. Either you agree to submit to Destiny Sect, or don't blame Destiny Sect for being impolite. God Rare Sect, Great Hall. An old man stood there. The old man was the messenger of the Destiny Sect. As for the Destiny Sect, it was the combination of the strongest sect in Devil Island, the 9 major sects. In 3 years, the establishment of the Destiny Sect had risen rapidly. It had already dominated the entire Devil Island, an existence that no one could shake. They represented the Destiny God. Chapter 1864. Who come? Who die? Chapter 1864. Who come? Who die? Deadwood withered. Weeds were piled up. The current God Rare Sect was like an old man in his final years, devoid of any signs of life, and likely about to collapse at any moment. As Long Fei went up against Destiny God, making him the enemy of the entire Devil Island, God Rare Sect was the first to bear the brunt of the attack, even though the Gold Robe Master had always publicized to the outside that Long Fei was not God Rare Sect's disciple, but many of the people who feared the Destiny God did not let go. In these 3 years, the God Rare Sect did not accept a single disciple. Not only that, but the sect disciples were also in a mess. They all left in a scattered manner, as if they were monkeys falling from a tree. However, there was always someone who insisted. For example, the Gold Robe Master or the heavily punished Zhang Sanqian. They were still persisting. They had always been guarding the God Rare Sect. But this time, they were afraid that they wouldn't be able to hold on even if they died. Ancestor, with the 3-day deadline, the group from Destiny Sect will probably attack the God Rare Sect. Zhang Sanqian said lightly he had been severely punished by the Golden Robe, but he did not hold a grudge. Just like how he was nearly killed by Luo Wanhong that year, Zhang Sanqian did not hold back his hatred. He centered around the god Rare Sect. Gold Robe Master frowned, his hands tightly held onto the dragon head handle on the chair. He said, "If he dares to come, I dare to fight. God Rare Sect is not that easy to bully." Another clan elder said slightly, "Ancestor, based on the elderly, weak, and handicapped of our god Rare Sect, I'm afraid." He did not continue. Destiny's sect would come over from time to encircle and annihilate them, and those who remained were disciples who were still injured. Once news of the 3-day deadline spread out, there would be more disciples who would leave, wanting to contend with the incomparably powerful Destiny sect, something that was basically impossible. Zhang Sanqian knew in his heart, as did the golden-robed elder. Gold Robe Master looked at Zhang Sanqian and said with a hint of reproach, "It's all because of your indulgence. Otherwise, how could a mere nominal disciple cause such a storm?" In his heart, he hated Long Fei. It was not only because Long Fei killed the 10 disciples that he had personally trained, but also because Long Fei dragged the god Rare Sect into the bottomless abyss. Zhang Sanqian said slightly, "Ancestor, even though all of this is because of Long Fei, don't you think that Long Fei will change this world? If he hasn't come out of the Devil Temple in 3 years, does that mean that the inheritance power he received was even stronger than the flying goddesses back then? Who knows, maybe this time he will bring honor and glory to the god Rare Sect. If we want to take down the god Rare Sect, we cannot let our guard." Only the older generation knew a little about this. Regarding the younger generation, even if they knew, they wouldn't care. Who would care about the powerhouse from 1,000 years ago? "Elder, don't worry. I will use my life to bet that we won't be able to open the flying heaven formation." It could be seen that it had long given up on the god Rare Sect. Even if the flying crane really was still there, what power did the god Rare Sect have after becoming a beast that had lived for 1,000 years? When that time comes, I will roast that flying crane. A young elder laughed out loud. The many young elders began to laugh as well. "Ha ha ha. You're right. Bake it. What kind of bullshit flying crane is that directly turning it into a soaring crane?" God Rare Sect was preparing. The great army of the Destiny sect was also continuously infiltrating. Face death, facing the army of gods. Many people were scared and also incomparably fearful. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. The army of Destiny was pressing down on the land. The black mass crushed towards the heavens awakening mountain. "Patriarch, something bad happened. Elder Chen's rebellion, sky-flying divine formation. It has been destroyed by him and is currently unable to activate. Without the protection of the flying heaven array, they will be able to reach the main hall in less than half an hour." An elder rushed into the hall in a flustered manner. Gold Robe Master suddenly stood up, his fists clenched tightly into a pit, causing the air in the hall to explode, and a silent explosion sounded out. "You dog!" The flying heaven formation was their last line of protection. As long as it was not destroyed, the people from the Destiny sect would have no way of dealing with them. But now, the muscles at the corner of Gold Robe Master's eyes twitched. He was boiling with anger, and his killing intent surged. And then he opened his right hand and made a grasping motion in the air, causing a 3-meter long-handled falchion to appear in his hand, its entire body glowing with a golden light. With a shake of his long blade, Gold Robe Master flew out. "Whoever comes will die." Chapter 1865. Savage like this. Chapter 1865. Savage like this, wearing a golden robe, his muscles bulged. The golden light around his body was like burning flames. His aura was incomparably savage. Furthermore, he had a golden blade by his side. At first glance, he looked like the white-bearded man from One Piece. In terms of aura, he was even more powerful than the white-bearded man. A golden blade. dressed in a golden robe, standing at the entrance of the great hall and looking down on everything else. This type of imposing aura was extremely powerful. Zhang Sanqian followed closely behind and quickly rushed out. Some of the elders in the hall stopped moving, some of them hesitated, and less than a third of the elders who followed the gold robe master out. Obviously, those elders who didn't come out were all afraid of death. Who in this world wasn't afraid of death? It's all's fault. It is all because of him that caused God Rare Sect to become like this. Offended who? Don't tell me he doesn't know that the Devil Island is the Forsaken God land? Damn thing. The Soaring Sky Great Formation is destroyed. Who can resist the Destiny Sect's army? Why did he still go out? Died. I won't go anyway. I'm not going either. Those who go are idiots. At this moment, no one cared about who they were, as they cared about their own lives. Gold Robe Master stood at the entrance of the great hall. His expression did not change at all, but his heart was faintly aching because there were less than a third of the elders standing behind him. In other words, many people were shocked by the Destiny Sect, and some even bought it. Sigh. The Gold Robe Master let out a long sigh and muttered to himself, "Mistress, it was I who did not teach them well. It was the warm bed provided by the God Rare Sect that allowed them to feel safe and content. They simply did not have the will to pass on to the God Rare Sect. However, don't worry. The will of the God Rare Sect will never disappear. We will pay any price to defend it." Gold Robe Master's heart trembled. Zhang Sanqian, who was standing beside him, could clearly feel the powerful impact and was overwhelmed with shock in his heart. Kill, 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 kill. Boom, boom. The sound of battle shook the skies. It was an unstoppable force. The Destiny Sect's army was unstoppable. There was no obstruction at all. Originally, it took half an hour, but now it took less than 10 minutes to rush out of the hall. Ha ha ha. This is the God Rare Sect's main hall. Not much. There's no comparison at all with the great hall of our Destiny Sect. The great army entered the plaza. A young clan elder walked up and stared at Gold Robe Master, who was standing at the entrance of the hall, and sneered, "Hey, old fellow, are you the gold-robed old man? Either you kneel down and call me Dad, or Lousy beats you until all your teeth fall out." Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. The crowd burst into laughter. However, the laughter suddenly stopped. Gold Robe Master moved. A gold light flashed, and he slashed out with his golden blade. The blade chi struck down like lightning. The young elder's body was cut into two halves, his eyes were glowered, and his mouth could no longer utter a single word. And after doing all of this, it was as if the Gold Robe Master hadn't moved at all. Crack! His body exploded, and blood spurted out onto the ground. Everyone was shocked. Being suppressed by the Gold Robe Master's powerful aura, they could not help but take half a step back. A cultivation at the 5th level of Purple Star was instantly killed. The cultivation of the Gold Robe Master was shockingly high. The young clan elders were horrified, their eyes gloomy as they stared at Gold Robe Master. An old man walked up and lightly said, "Brother Jinwu, please forgive this young man's insensible behavior." Gold Robe Master's voice was like a loud bell. "I won't forgive you, but if anyone dares to take a step up the stairs, that person will die." The sound spread out. It was with incredible pressure that it exploded out into the minds of everyone present. Just like that. Whoever came would die. The Destiny Sect laughed faintly. "Brother Gold Cloak, why are you doing this? God Rare Sect has already become like this. Do you want to see blood flowing like rivers? Surrender and join our Destiny Sect. We can let bygones be bygones and let the 10 sects become one. Isn't that what the flying goddess hoped for back then? Gold Robe Master said, Lord Goddess does indeed wish for us to become one, but she didn't say that she was under some dog's-hit god. Our Devil Island is the Forsaken God continent, and our greatest enemies are the arrogant gods of the main temple. But what about you? Those gods slapped your right face and even made you stretch your left face out. You all want to continue living with your last breaths, but we, the God-rare sect, do not. The golden-robed elder was extremely disdainful. He didn't believe in God. He didn't believe in fate. He only believed in himself. Right now, he was unable to charge out of the Devil Island. If he could break out of the confinement, he would definitely rush to the ancient holy battlefield to kill him. The old man smiled bitterly and said, I know you don't believe in fate. You don't believe in the gods. But look what you have left. If Flying Goddess broke out of her imprisonment and became the #1 person in Devil Island, then where was she now? I am afraid that he would also be suppressed by the main temple's gods. If she can't change anything, what can you change? At this moment, a young disciple sneered and said, I say, Flying Goddess might even be played by main temple's divine wheel. I heard that Flying Goddess was ancient holy battlefield's #1 beauty back then. The Destiny Sect elder snorted, Shut up. However, his voice was not finished. The figure of the Gold Robe Master descended once again as the golden blade slashed down. Boom! A head flew into the air and blood sprayed out. Gold Robe Master coldly replied, You trash aren't even worthy of mentioning the goddess name. If you dare to let me hear you insult the goddess, I will make him regret coming to this world. Savage, extremely savage. He did not allow anyone to sully the reputation of the Flying Goddess, because the Flying Goddess was the highest belief of the entire God-rare sect. It was also the belief of his Gold Robe Master. Another young elder had been killed, and some of the other young elders were very unhappy. Humph, old thing, you don't care about giving me face, right? You really think that we're afraid of you? Flying Goddess is a bitch. What about it? So what if I'm scolding? What's wrong? You want to kill me? You old thing, come if you dare. Many people were unhappy. They were an army of the Destiny Sect, and they represented the Destiny God. They would not be afraid of the powerhouse 1,000 years ago, and they would only know who controlled the world now. Main Temple, as long as they could get the Main Temple's favor. Maybe the seal on the Devil Island would be broken. They can all get out of here. Gold Robe Master's eyes became tight. He stared straight at the people who spoke. All of you will die. Old thing, do you have the guts to come? Your elder is standing right here. If you don't come, then you're my grandson. Come on. At this moment, Gold Robe Master's figure disappeared. The man who spoke coldly, Old man, you've been tricked. Get ready. Chapter 1866 has arrived. Chapter 1866 has arrived. Boom. The golden-colored lightning blade shot out explosively from the ground in a straight line. At the same time, the figure of the Gold Robe Master also descended from the sky above the blade chi. A similar golden blade chi descended from the sky. 9 days and 10 places killing space. The 5th floor, Zhang Sanqian's face shook. His heart was overwhelmed with shock. The 5th stage killing inner space was extremely powerful. The ground and sky were filled with energy that could be controlled. Zhang Sanqian's respect for the Gold Robe Master deepened. However, the middle-aged man being targeted by the Gold Robe Master sneered. Old man, it's useless. As soon as he finished, the killing intent of the top 10 of the 9 heavens was directed at that person. Destiny's shield activate. Buzz. With a loud shout, a shield appeared around the young man's body. The wheel of fate spun left and right, completely blocking the power of the killing interspaces attack. The man disdainfully sneered. What bullsh asterisk T9 days and 10 places killing space. In the presence of God. Old bastard. Do you know what this is? Shield of Destiny, Wheel of Destiny. You want to kill me? Humph. You old thing, it's impossible in your next life. The middle-aged man shouted as the wheel of fate on his body began to spin rapidly, expanding its range. At the same time, the dozens of elders beside him flew out in unison. Fate will formation. They instantly surrounded Gold Robe Master. When he exerted his strength at the same time, the wheel of destiny on his body formed a strong pressure and smashed onto Gold Robe Master's body. Gold Robe Master was pushed back continuously as his chest cracked open, and he could not help but spurt out a mouthful of blood. His face was extremely pale. Zhang Sanqian shouted, "Ancestor!" Just as he was about to rush forward to help the Gold Robe Master, the golden-robed man shouted out, "Don't come near me!" Zhang Sanqian, if you think I'm a senior, then take the rest of the people and leave quickly. God Rare Sect cannot be destroyed at our place. No way. Absolutely not. Gold Robe Master stood up with his golden blade, his eyes fierce. The God Rare Sect could not be destroyed in his hands. Otherwise, even if he died, he would have let down the ancestors of the God Rare Sect. The Gold Robe Master said slightly, "Zhang Sanqian, since you're betting everything on that brat Long Fei, then go to the Devil Temple, then bet everything on yourself. Do you understand?" Gold Robe Master shouted loudly. Zhang Sanqian said, "Ancestor, what about you?" Gold Robe Master smiled slightly and said, "Having lived for over 200 years, being able to die in battle for God Rare Sect has always been my dream. To me, this is the best home. Let's go." Gold Robe Master roared out. He waved the golden blade in his hand, looked at the dozens of disciples who had the Wheel of Fate on them, and rushed out. "Bring it on." Gold Robe Master unleashed his strongest strength, causing the golden robe on his body to be torn apart, revealing muscles that looked like they were cast out of copper water. His muscles were full of scars as well. He looked up at the sky and murmured, "Please bless me, Lady Goddess." Shwa. With one step, the golden blade slashed out. Buzz. One of the disciples' destiny shield was immediately shattered, but the Gold Robe Master was also shaken by the shock, as if he could not take it anymore. "Old thing, you dare to be arrogant even when you're about to die. Let's see how long you can continue showing off then. Kill them all." The disciple in the lead shouted as the Fate Roulette once again charged forward. It surrounded Gold Robe Master so tightly that not even a drop of water could leak out. Zhang Sanqian did not stay. He could not allow Gold Robe Master to make a futile sacrifice. He stepped into the great hall and said, "Who is willing to follow me?" To the Devil Temple, waiting for Long Fei to come out from closed-door cultivation. "Who wants to come with me?" Inside the hall, even the elders who were accompanying Gold Robe Master a while ago lowered their heads and did not say a word. Zhang Sanqian felt pain in his heart and said, "Could it be that no one is willing? Could it be that all of you want to watch as the God Rare Sect is destroyed?" Zhang Sanqian was heartbroken. If Gold Robe Master knew about this, how miserable would he be? An elder said, "Zhang Sanqian, you should be clearer than anyone else about the current situation. Gold Robe Master will die. He will be destroyed, and we will not be able to escape. So, Zhang Sanqian, we still have a choice. We surrender. We nominate you as the God Rare Sect's Master, and accept surrender." Without waiting for him to finish, Zhang Sanqian cursed, "Bullshit! There is no surrender in the God Rare Sect's dictionary. You bunch of cowards. Yes, we are afraid of death, but who caused all of this? It's you. if you did not condone Long Fei, would Long Fei be able to attend the Devil Hills Exchange? He could offend Yelin. He can offend the Destiny God. You can cause so much trouble. It's all because of you. A few elders glared at Zhang Sanqian hatefully. Everything was because of Long Fei. If they did not go to the tournament, even if the god Rare Sect was not the 10 sects, they would still be able to live a good life, and would not be like this. Zhang Sanqian laughed. Seeing their faces one by one, Zhang Sanqian laughed powerlessly. The leading elder walked forward and said, Zhang Sanqian, if you agree to surrender, you are still our god Rare sect leader. Zhang Sanqian said, and if I don't agree? As soon as he finished, all the elders in the hall stepped forward in unison, surrounding Zhang Sanqian. The elder then continued, we do not wish to accompany the two of you to your deaths. If you do not agree, then it will be better. Then go to hell. In that instant, the clan elder raised his sword and stabbed towards Zhang Sanqian. At this moment, the other elders in the palace also immediately took action, all rushing towards Zhang Sanqian. They didn't want to die. He didn't want to be buried with anyone else either. At the start, they still had Gold Robe Master to intimidate them. Now that there was only Zhang Sanqian, they did not put him in their eyes. Whoosh, 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 asterisk, whoosh, 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 asterisk. Furthermore, Zhang Sanqian did not expect that so many elders would attack him so quickly. In just a moment, he had blocked a few attacks, but his body, more than 10 sword wounds. His chest was pierced. The abdomen was pierced. He was covered in blood, and his face was pale. Zhang Sanqian spat out a mouthful of fresh blood and said, You all? Zhang Sanqian, it is you who does not know how to appreciate favors. Gold Robe Master is a stubborn old man. Now, it won't be long before he dies. Humph, who do you think you are? Now, no one placed Zhang Sanqian in their eyes. Blood gushed out of Zhang Sanqian's mouth as he said, God, Rare Sect's will. What kind of shitty willpower is this? This old man only knows that life is more important than any will. So what about Flying Goddess? If you have the guts, why don't you tell her to ride a flying crane and come down again? Exactly. Right at this moment, a sharp cry of a crane sounded out. It's here. Chapter 1867, Fighting for Faith. Chapter 1867, Fighting for Faith. The shrill cry of a crane came from hundreds of miles away. Intimidating. Silence reigned in the plaza outside the hall. Gold Robe Master was covered in blood. He looked around and muttered, This voice, this sound. His mood was a little agitated. Discussions were rife in the plaza as they asked, What sounds? What was that just now? What is it? His mind was overwhelmed with shock. The feeling of having his mind suddenly shake caused everyone's heart to tremble. It seems like the cry of a crane. A crane? What crane? Could it be that the flying crane is still in God rare sect? Humph! Gold cloak, you old thing, you want to play tricks on me? Today, not to mention flying crane. Even if flying goddess were to come, Lousy would still ride her under his crotch. Ha 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 ha. Kill them all. Ignorant, so fearless. The young generation did not know how strong the flying crane was. To them, it was just a war beast. What could a mere war beast do to them? However, some of the older elders, looked at each other carefully. The title of the Devil Island's first battle beast was not just for show. Ha! Another slightly hoarse cry rang out, but it was so loud that it shook the hearts of the onlookers. The entire audience was once again shaken. Gold Robe Master looked at a corner, and his emotions were getting more and more agitated. He's here, he's really here. Everyone looked at the sky. Many disciples with lower cultivations began to tremble in fear. Within the palace, Zhang Sanqian's eyes flashed as he replied, seriously, Elder you're right, the flying crane has descended once again. The expression of the elders in the hall drastically changed. Others might not know, but they were very clear that the flying crane was too powerful. If the flying crane really did descend, then the God Rare sect would be safe and sound. However, Yu Jian squinted his eyes. His killing intent was dense. Regardless of whether you are a flying crane, Zhang Sanqian, you have to die. If one doesn't do it, the other won't. Since they had already done so, they had no choice but to fight to the end. Otherwise, the consequences would be even more disastrous. In that instant, Yu Jian shouted, kill him. The elders recovered from their shock and attacked once more. Zhang Sanqian endured the pain and said, Yu Jian, you have completely turned traitor, haven't you? All right, then let's see who will die first. As soon as he finished, Zhang Sanqian did not attack, but rushed out of the hall. Closed the door. Boom, boom. The two elders shut the doors to the hall tightly as they surrounded and attacked Zhang Sanqian at the same time. The retreat was broken. Zhang Sanqian's expression tensed. He summoned his sword and exhaled deeply. 9 days and 10 places killing space. Second realm, open for me. Buzz. He was sent flying when he encountered the lines of energy. Yu Jian shouted, don't be afraid. He is just a half-dead Zhang Sanqian. He is unable to release the killing interspace. As long as we kill him and present his head to the Destiny sect, we are safe. As for that crane cry just now, the flying crane has disappeared for nearly 1,000 years. It's impossible for it to still be alive. Don't worry. Killing intent had been resolved. After the many elders heard this, they even used all of their power to deal with Zhang Sanqian. Fight to the death. Outside the hall, 2 shrill crane cries shook the hall, but the elders carrying the Wheel of Fate did not care. He shouted and said, what bullsh *T flying crane? I'll kill them if they come. Let's kill this old thing first. Kill. The powerhouse with a Wheel of Fate that was tens of meters tall dashed towards Gold Robe Master. Gold Robe Master's entire body was covered in blood. The golden blade in his hand trembled as he roared, come! A bloody battle. He heard 2 cranes. However, he did not see any flying crane. Was it an illusion? Or could it be that the one who let out the cry was not a flying crane, but an ordinary flying crane? He didn't know. He only knew that even if he were to die, he would die fighting for the God Rare sect. When he saw the doors of the hall suddenly close and the sounds of fighting coming from the hall, his heart turned cold. He knew that Zhang Sanqian was probably finished. The God Rare sect may be finished. The flames of the god Rare sect were about to extinguish. His heart ached, and his aura became even stronger. He roared at the sky, "Come, He took a step forward. Without the least bit of defense, he rushed towards the man who had humiliated the flying goddess with his words. Savage beyond compare. However, there were simply too many people in the Destiny sect. Even with the protection of the Shield of Fate, these people would not fight to the death with the Gold Robe Master. Well, battle of attrition, sneak attacks, all sorts of despicable and insidious moves were used. Less than half a minute, a few more bloody holes appeared on Gold Robe Master's body, and blood started to gush out like a pillar. All the powerhouse-s on the ground had also fallen, and were all killed by the Gold Robe Master. Ha ha ha! That old fellow won't be able to hold on much longer. Old thing, keep acting arrogant. Is the oil lamp out? Ha ha ha! Brothers, attack. Whoever takes down the head of the gold robe, or the person who gets the protection of the Destiny God, he or she will be able to enjoy even more of his or her longevity. As soon as he finished, a large group of powerhouse swarmed over. In the main hall, Zhang Sanqian struggled to resist using the 9 days and 10 places killing space, but his entire body was injured, as if he had crawled out of a pool of blood. He wouldn't be able to hold on much longer. Did you see that? The flying crane did not appear. Zhang Sanqian, all of this is your fantasy. Ha ha ha! Kill him. A bloody battle would also be a battle to the death. Whether it was Gold Robe Master outside the hall or Zhang Sanqian inside the hall, they were all fighting for the god Rare sect, and they were fighting with the will of the god Rare sect. At the same time, they were also fighting for the prophecy left behind by the flying goddess. Someone will lead them out of Devil Island. Someone will command the entire Devil Island. Therefore, they had to pass down the god Rare sect's legacy. Even though they were trapped in a desperate situation, they did not give up because this was already their belief. Kill him. Kill. Blood spurted out, and the scene was tragic to behold. In the entire God Rare sect, only the two of them were fighting. It was as if the entire world seemed to have abandoned them both. Desolation. Desolate. He attacked again and again, and was knocked back time and again. He roared over and over again, risking his life over and over again. For the God Rare sect, for the prophecy, and also for the inheritance. Gold Robe Master's golden blade was shot down, his chest pierced through, and he continued to fight, not holding back anything. Zhang Sanqian's 9 days and 10 places killing space was shattered. More than 10 swords pierced into his body, but he still continued to fight. For faith. They were fearless. However, just when everyone's attention was focused on them, in the sky, a huge crane was hovering in the air with a person standing on its back. Long Fei. Chapter 1868, Violent Killing. Chapter 1868, Violent killing, 3 years of closed-door cultivation. What had happened in those 3 years? Long Fei did not know much. Seeing the large group of people below besieging and attacking an old man, Long Fei was a little unhappy. Moreover, even if he did not like the God Rare sect and hated his master, the Gold Robe Master, he had one thing that he had never forgotten. So, in that instant, buzz. With a hum, Long Fei fell from the sky. Boom! Bang! A loud sound directly exploded in the crowd. The huge impact directly blew a few Destiny sect disciples away. Humph! Someone's coming to die. Who is this kid? Who cares who he is if he dares to stand out for the God Rare sect? We'll kill him first. Gold Robe Master glanced at Long Fei. He had also not seen Long Fei before as well, and said, "Little brother, this doesn't concern you. There's no need to throw your life in here. Let's quickly leave." Long Fei's eyes swept across them, and said, God, rare sex matters are my matters. I say, Uncle, who are these guys? The disciples of the God Rare sect. And the elders? Why are you the only one fighting? Long Fei did not understand. No matter what, God Rare sect was still one of the 10 sects 3 years ago. As the saying goes, a skinny camel is bigger than a horse. Gold Robe Master smiled bitterly and said, God Rare sect. It no longer exists. What do you mean? Long Fei's gaze tensed up. In the distance, a middle-aged man sneered and said, So what you mean is, today, the God Rare sect is going to be destroyed. With just you. Long Fei raised his eyes and stared at the man who was speaking. The middle-aged man smirked and said, Yes, I am. As soon as he finished, Shua. Long Fei's footsteps were like thunder. He instantly charged forward and landed in front of the man. With a move of his right hand, he grabbed onto the man's neck and raised him up into the air. Are you even worthy of that? Crack! His 2 fingers exerted force, and before he could react, he had already strangled his throat. His body twitched, and he fell to the ground like a pile of mud, turning into a dead dog. A system announcement rang out in Long Fei's mind. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Elder of Destiny sect for obtaining 19,000 experience, 1,900 holy power value, 1 metamorphic energy value. It was also at this moment Long Fei's brows sank, looked at the people around him, and said sinisterly, Destiny sect? Long Fei's sudden outburst caused everyone to be stunned for a moment. It had to be known that the Elder just now was a level 3 purple star, and was not considered strong, but he could instantly kill him, causing the strength Long Fei displayed to become even more powerful. Gold Robe Master was also slightly shocked. Such a fast speed, such shocking explosive strength, to have such a cultivation at such a young age. It is truly amazing. Gold Robe Master said, That's right, they are Destiny sect. Destiny sect. Fate. Zone. Fate. God. Long Fei muttered to himself. A middle-aged elder coldly snorted and said, Boy, you're scared? The Destiny sect was created by the God of Destiny to eliminate all those who oppose him. Today is the God Rare sect. Tomorrow is the little bastard Long Fei inside the Devil Temple. The entire Devil Island will not let him off if he dares to oppose the God of Destiny. He was extremely pleased with himself. In the current Devil Island, who would dare oppose the Destiny sect? Who dares to challenge God? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Long Fei laughed, and in the end, almost laughed wildly. Destiny God, Destiny sect, Devil Island. I never thought that after 3 years, you bunch of cowards actually became dogs of the Destiny God. Abandoned by the main temple, go and kneel down and lick them now. Ha ha ha. You are not cheap. The servility in your bones is inborn. Even if you are not in this Devil Island, you are a bunch of trash that will never be able to lift up your heads. Long Fei said coldly. He had not imagined that the words of those who had left 3 years ago would actually come true. The 9 major sects had allied with all of the forces in the Devil Island to form a Destiny sect to chase after and kill all those who were related to Long Fei. This was the case for the current God Rare sect. How dare you? Is it possible for someone like you to slander the God of Destiny? Who do you think you are? What qualifications do you have to judge where we live? A few middle-aged men spoke with a heavy tone. Long Fei grinned coldly and said, Didn't you guys want to kill Long Fei? Didn't your God of Destiny want to kill Long Fei? He was almost killed by Long Fei in the past. Now, I'm right here. From today onwards, anyone who comes from Destiny's sect will die. While Long Fei was speaking, the chi on his body burst out, becoming extremely turbulent. Everyone's face turned cold. You are Long Fei. He is Long Fei. Isn't he in the Devil Temple? 3 years of closed-door cultivation. Are you out now? Everyone, quickly look. There's a divine crane in the sky. It's the flying crane. Is it his mount? For a moment, all the disciples of the Destiny sect in the plaza started to panic. 3 years of loss had caused many legends regarding Long Fei. Some said that he died in the Devil Temple, while others said that he was the son of Hell that could summon the Hell Reaper. Some people even said that he was the king of giants and that he could summon out giants. In short, there were many legends. You are Long Fei. Ha ha ha. There's no need to go to such lengths to find it. That elder laughed coldly and said, God of Destiny said, whoever can take your head will have the qualification to leave the Devil Island. After thousands of years, only the flying goddess has managed to break through the shackles. I will become the second person to break through. When the time comes, I will go find the flying goddess. I want to be the first man to break through the Devil Island to imprison women. At this moment, Long Fei's figure disappeared. Just at this moment, Gold Robe Master's figure also disappeared. The two charged at the man at the same time. However, Long Fei was even faster. A step landed in front of that person. The man's face turned sinister. The shield of destiny on his body suddenly activated, and the powerful fate wheel quickly expanded, wanting to shoot Long Fei flying. However, there was nothing that Long Fei could do to stop him. There was no wheel of destiny in front of him. The moment he landed, the wheel of destiny had already been destroyed by a surge of energy. Long Fei's right fist sank. Boom! He directly pierced through that elder's abdomen, suddenly pulling out all of his internal organs and grabbed them in front of that person. Then he asked, "Are you afraid?" Without waiting for that person to finish, Long Fei moved his left hand, using all of his strength to slap the man's face behind him. Insulting his mother? Die! It was also at this moment that an old man from the Destiny sect shouted, "Kill him!" Chapter 1869, I'm going to kill someone. Chapter 1869, I'm going to kill someone. He could not tolerate being insulted. If he insulted his mother, there would be no one here, not even the 18 generations of that person's ancestors. However, and following Long Fei's enraged kill, all the disciples of the Destiny sect surrounded and attacked him. Thousands of disciples crazily rushed over while blotting out the sky. Their eyes were blazing, because as long as they could kill Long Fei, it was possible for them to leave the Devil Island. In the ancient holy battlefield, every warrior's dream was to enter the ancient holy battlefield, because only there would one be able to manifest the true value of a martial artist. Only there would you have the chance to obtain everything you wanted. Moreover, the Devil Island was a place of abdication. There would never be a day where one could stand up for themselves, so everyone wanted to leave. Since their strength could not be broken through, they could only rely on the power of the Destiny God. Gold Robe Master looked at Long Fei. In his heart, he hated Long Fei because all of this was Long Fei. However, seeing how that man killed Flying Goddess in anger, his heart suddenly calmed down. Immediately, Gold Robe Master said, "Long Fei, there are too many people here. We are not the opponent of others. So you better hurry up and leave. In addition, Zhang Sanqian is trapped in the Great Hall. If possible, can you go and save him?" Gold Robe Master still hoped that Long Fei could escape. Inside his heart, he was also anticipating, "Zhang Sanqian, I hope you're right." He had to protect this flame of Long Fei's well. Star flame can set the prairie ablaze. As long as there are still people living in the God Rare sect, then the God Rare sect will not be extinguished. However, you want to leave? Humph! Today, even if he has wings, he won't be able to escape. Golden-robed, your life is no longer important. Long Fei's life is more valuable. Go all out and kill him. From all directions, they surged towards Long Fei like a tide. Long Fei was instantly surrounded by thousands of people. Even if he was a Purple Star Realm cultivator, facing such a strong Destiny Sect elite disciple, he was no match for him. But Long Fei laughed. He said excitedly, "Escape? I never thought of running away, and you guys should be the ones trying to escape, right?" The idea moved. Desperate man, Gozhong Sanqian. A white light flashed in the air. The main door of the hall suddenly burst open. At this moment, Long Fei revealed a sinister smile and said, "Hell Reaper, kill them all for me." In that instant, buzz, buzz, buzz. In the sky, the 12 Hell Reaper-s descended like 12 rays of flowing light, forming 12 straight lines as they rushed out. Countless disciples flew into the air in 12 straight lines wherever they went, their blood filling the sky. Miserable screams shook the skies. Long Fei laughed disdainfully. "I'm escaping? F***CK. There is no such word as escape in Laozi's dictionary. Destiny Sect, your father, will turn you into the Hell Sect." The moment Long Fei said this, his fists moved, and he immediately charged into the crowd, thinking fiercely in his heart, "I haven't even made a move against you, but you actually want to make a move against me. Destiny God, as long as I don't die, I will never let you off. Kill." With the Devil Sword in one hand and Fire Dragon Knife in the other, they slaughtered crazily. At this moment, the system beep-s in Long Fei's mind also crazily resounded. Ding, 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 ding. His experience points rose explosively. This feeling could only be described by one word: great. Moreover, he had been fighting against 4 holy monks for 3 years. It seemed like his level had not increased, but his strength, speed, and reaction speed had all increased by an unprecedented amount. His battle experience was incomparably rich. Despite being surrounded by 100 people, they were not harmed in the slightest. Moreover, it was still crazily crushing his opponent. In 3 years, Long Fei had grown too much. Boom, boom, boom. Destiny God, you can cultivate this trash? It's not even enough, it's just too weak. Long Fei cursed at the sky and thought to himself, "Motherf ****, if only we had a little more primordial energy, we could have crushed the Destiny God in just a few minutes." Back then, he had also used the power of primordial chaos to crush Destiny God. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently level 8 Purple Star. I'm just 2 levels away from getting the system reward. 12 killers, hurry up. Long Fei shouted. Not a single one can be let go. The Destiny Sect army of thousands of people instantly crumbled and were completely wiped out by the 12 Hell Reapers. It was exactly as Long Fei had expected. These Hell Reaper were born killers. They had no emotions or desires. No emotions. Long Fei's order was everything, and more importantly, the key point was that Long Fei could still help them raise their cultivation levels. Within these 3 years of being in the Sumi Rings, their strength had increased by quite a bit. The Giant's perfect fusion had also been completely absorbed. Hold on, quick hold on. It came surging over like the tide and retreated like the tide. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently level 8 Purple Star. He leveled up once again. Long Fei said excitedly, "I'm still 1 level away from reaching Black Star Realm, and I can trigger the system reward again." Hee. Continue to kill. Long Fei laughed loudly. "Destiny Sect? Awesome. You're so awesome for Laozi." Looking at the corpses that covered the ground, Long Fei started to sneer. 12 Hell Reapers was still crazily chasing after them. Long Fei's order was to kill them all. They would not stop until he had killed them all. At this moment, a dozen or so elders walked out from the main hall and kneeled on the floor. Long Fei, spare me. Long Fei, spare me. I beg of you, we were forced to do it too. Long Fei, let us go. Long Fei looked at them, and then at Zhang Sanqian, who was on his last breath on Desperate Man's back. His heart sank. Sect leader! Zhang Sanqian's entire body was covered in blood, his life already hanging by a thread. Zhang Sanqian looked at Long Fei and smiled faintly. Long Fei, you have finally come out of seclusion. And then he looked at the dying gold-robe master and said, Ancestor, did I bet on the right treasure? Ha ha ha. Cough, cough, cough. A large mouthful of blood sprayed out. Gold-robe master smiled lightly and said, Long Fei, you must carry the God Rare Sect's banner, because maybe you can lead God Rare Sect down there and walk out of there. If we... Cough, cough. Gold-robe master also coughed quickly, spitting out black blood with a face as pale as paper. He was about to die. Long Fei's heart ached, and he said, I won't let you die. The idea moved. Rumble! With a loud noise, Devil Temple was summoned out. Long Fei grabbed the two and immediately rushed into the temple. Tian Shu, can it be saved? The Tian Shu's expression did not change. It only nodded and said, Yes. All right, you save him now. I'm going to kill someone. Long Fei left the Devil Temple in a flash. Chapter 1870, 12 Holy Generals. Chapter 1870, 12 Holy Generals. The instant he came out of Devil Temple, the elders who were kneeling on the ground were trembling in fear. Long Fei glanced at them. The anger on his body burst forth. The fire dragon knife swept. The blade chi swept across. Boom, boom, boom. One slash, light. Ding, ding, ding. A bunch of trash. Leaving you all in this world is just a waste of air. Long Fei disdainfully snorted, then turned and shook his right leg, causing it to fly into the air and land on the back of the flying crane. I wonder where the senior sister and the rest are. Where are Mu Bing and the rest? Long Fei's heart tensed up. Ba Wanghua had returned once before, but they received an order before they even stepped into the entrance of the God Rare Sect. They had already been expelled from the God Rare Sect. He did not know where he was now. As for Mu Bing and the rest, they had been sent down the mountain by Zhang Sanqian in secret. I don't care. Right now, the entire Devil Island is my enemy, and my friends are their enemy. Right now, it must be difficult for them to take even one step, because the most pressing matter of the moment is to strike with all they have. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister as he said, To the Destiny Sect. The flying crane did not move, because it did not know where the Destiny Sect was. Long Fei hesitated for a moment, then said, Nielin was the first to come into contact with the Destiny God, so the position of the Xianyang Sect might be the main rudder of the Destiny Sect. All right, to the Xianyang Sect. The flying crane spread its wings and charged into the clouds. His speed was extremely fast. He could travel tens of millions of kilometers in a day. If there was an urgent matter, Long Fei really wanted to go to the edge of Devil Island to take a look, to see if there was a barrier surrounding Devil Island. What did you say? Completely wiped out. Not a single one alive. Destiny Sect, Destiny God Palace. An old man stared at him, emitting a strong aura from the 5 elements on his body. The elder in the hall said slightly, That's right, Long Fei has entered society. The entire 12 Hell Reapers is out. All our 2,000 elite soldiers are dead. Not a single one. Who did you just say? The elder's eyes shone with a bright light. The elder said, Long Fei, Long Fei. Long Fei who killed Nie Lin 3 years ago. He came out of Devil Temple? Didn't they say that he died inside the Devil Temple? The head elder's eyes were filled with excitement. Another clan elder in the palace replied, "Those are just rumors, but we never thought that Long Fei would actually stay in the Devil Temple for a whole 3 years, and that he would even stay there longer than the Flying Goddess. Any one of the 100,000 legacies in the Devil Temple are extremely powerful. How much of them have he mastered in 3 years? Long Fei entered society. Looks like he is here for us." The hall was filled with discussions. However, there was one thing that they were not afraid of Long Fei at all. Those who could enter the Destiny Hall were all Supreme Elder of the 9 major sects. Moreover, the power of the Wheel of Destiny they had was not as weak as those ordinary elders. The establishment of the Destiny sect was based on a strong foundation of the power of destiny, and not purely out of reverence for the Destiny God. The sect master of the Destiny sect is the Destiny God. However, it had never appeared before. Everything was under the control of the Destiny Hall's elders. Great Elder Zhou Qianma laughed coldly. "I don't care who it is that has entered society. In 3 years, is there anyone who still revered the Devil Temple? Is there anyone else who wants to go to Devil Hills? No. The Destiny God Palace is the true sacred hall. What does a mere Devil Temple matter?" Also, Zhou Qianma laughed coldly and said, "Long Fei's cultivation method and uniqueness, it is simply impossible to grasp any of the inheritance power in the Devil Temple." Everyone shivered. Everyone looked at the Great Elder. Zhou Qianma laughed faintly. With killing, he broke through, killed, and even killed demons, providing him with a powerful realm. But he was unable to comprehend the true meaning of a realm like a normal martial artist. So, even if the 100,000 inheritance were to be in front of him, he would still not be able to grasp it. What did he look like 3 years ago? Now, what does he look like? As long as we can take down Long Fei's head, we can claim credit in front of the God of Destiny and have him bring us out of the Devil Island and into the true ancient holy battlefield. While they were talking, Zhou Qianma was incomparably excited. All the elders in the hall were filled with excitement. Long Fei's head could give them everything. "Leave the Devil Island." Zhou Qianma immediately said, "Get back and prepare for me. We need to quickly capture Long Fei." "Ha ha! We won't be able to leave the Devil Island for long." Ha ha ha! Everyone laughed out loud. Just then, an elder ran into the hall anxiously, reporting to Great Clan Elder, "Long Fei has appeared." The entire hall suddenly quieted down. Zhou Qianma took a step forward and asked with a face brimming with excitement, "Where is he?" The clan elder said, "On the way to Xianyang sect." Zhou Qianma's eyes turned cold, and he laughed coldly. "I'm not looking for you, but you're actually looking for us? This way is also good. It also saves me some effort. Send my order. Lead 10,000 elite warriors to Xianyang sect immediately. In addition, Xianyang ancestor, you go first. Open your Xianyang sect's solar array and trap him first. I want to enter the secret hall and await God of Destiny's instructions." Hearing the 2 words, secret hall, everyone's expression turned cold. "Yes, sir." Inside, a secret hall below the Destiny God's palace. Inside were tribute items. Over a dozen of the most beautiful women were naked. Zhou Qianma walked into the secret hall and immediately knelt on the ground. Looking at the Destiny God statue, he said, "Master, Long Fei has appeared." However, Long Fei entered society with 12 Hell Reapers. Without waiting for Zhou Qianma to finish, a ray of light flashed in the eyes of the statue, as though it was alive, it opened its mouth and said, "Hell Reaper? Can't think of anything else but for this little bastard to get the support of the underworld? Humph, this must be caused by his damned father, right? However, this is the ancient holy battlefield, not hell. We can't unleash the power of the Hell Reaper at all." And then, Destiny God swept his gaze across the 12 exceptional beauties and revealed a lecherous smile on his statue. He said lightly, "Wait outside. I will create 12 holy generals for you. They will obey you." Jiu Tianma immediately replied, "Thank you, Master." He left the secret hall. Immediately, miserable screams of agony sounded in the secret hall. It was as if the souls of the dead were being torn apart. 12 streams of bright, red blood flowed out. Slowly, the blood enveloped their bodies. One by one, the powers of destiny poured in, and their bodies began to change as if the heavens were turning upside down, turning them into demon-like human and animals. His entire body was covered in blood-red armor. 12 holy generals. Chapter 1871, Solar Array. Chapter 1871, Solar Array. Have you heard? Long Fei has entered society. What entering society? He directly brought out the entire Devil Temple. What kind of power is this? I heard that 3 years ago, when Long Fei fought the 9 major sects alone, even the incomparably strong Hell Reaper, that no one dared to touch, was subdued by him. He is the son of Hell. He's more than just a son of Hell. He's also the king of the giant clan. The entire Devil Island was talking about Long Fei. Tianyan City, civilian's lair. In a small yard, Lanya quickly entered the courtyard and said, "Long Fei, Long Fei, Long Fei has appeared." As soon as he finished, the door to the courtyard suddenly opened. Lei Jiu was the first to walk out and said, "Little sister ya, what did you say just now? Boss Long Fei came back from the Devil Temple?" Bawang Hua also hurriedly walked out. His tears were about to pour out as he said, he finally came out." "Ha ha ha." LV Shuangchuan started laughing excitedly. "You scoundrel, it's been 3 years already. Damn it, it's finally our turn now, right?" The heavy sword on Wang Tai's back shook slightly, and his body also emitted a berserk aura. 3 years' time. They were hiding everywhere and were being hunted. As long as they appeared anywhere, a large number of Destiny Sect disciples would immediately rush over, as long as it was related to Long Fei. Even if it was someone who said something, they would be killed. Luo Heights. The entire village had been killed. In all of Tianyan City, only Lanya was still alive. Even the Lei family, which had long been divorced from Lei Jiu, had been annihilated. As long as there was a connection, it could be said that there were 9 families involved. During these 3 years, they had gathered together and hid within this dark civilian cave. Every day, they would desperately cultivate and endure just so that they could wait for the day Long Fei would enter society. Now, it finally appeared. Mu Bing's face was full of excitement as he asked, "Where is the sect master now?" Lanya said, "What I heard was that Long Fei is on his way to the Xianyang sect, and on top of that, also..." Yanantian asked, "And what?" Lanya said, "Furthermore, Long Fei brought Devil Temple to the God Rare sect and killed all of the disciples that surrounded and annihilated the God Rare sect. Beautiful. The boss is the boss, too mighty. Domineering. What a relief." Everyone was incomparably excited. Wang Tai took a step forward, turned his head, and looked at them. "What are you all waiting for?" Yan Nantian smiled slightly and said, "It's time to move. When Long Fei rushed to Xianyang sect, the Destiny God Palace will definitely send a large number of powerhouses to kill him. I want to fight to the bitter end." the Bawanghua said. "The moment Long Fei enters society, too many things have happened in 3 years, especially for the Destiny Gods Hall. It's too strong. Long Fei basically has no idea. Could it be? Humph. So what if you're a god? So what if you're a main temple?" Boss Long Fei said before. He did not even put the Destiny God in his eyes. I heard that Long Fei stepped over the Destiny God when I was still in the lower planes. LV Shuangchuan said, while laughing. Mu Bing said, "The past is the past, and now is the present. The present Destiny God is definitely different from the past. Furthermore, this is the Devil Island, a place abandoned by the gods, but a place that respects the gods. The sect master is facing the power that we have faced in these 3 years, the entire Devil Island." Wang Tai said, "Since you are talking about this here, why don't you give boss a good fight? At least you look like a person. But how do we get to the Xianyang sect?" Walk. The distance from here to Xianyang sect was thousands of miles. If he were to walk, he would be crippled by the time he reaches the Xianyang sect. Yan Nantian smiled faintly and said, "Don't worry, I have long prepared the best for this day." A gigantic iron hand eagle floated in the air. "Let's go together." He happily accompanied Long Fei in a battle. Main temple. Why has there been so much movement in Devil Island for the past few days? Why would there be movement in such a sinful and trashy place? You can see for yourselves. A mini version of the Devil Island appeared in one of his hands as streams of strange energy surged, once again assaulting the shackles of the boundary. Everyone was startled. One of the deities said, "This is the forbidden land of gods. Even if we are going to destroy this place, we can't let anything happen to this place. It's just a bunch of trash." Humph. How arrogant. I suggest that they directly exterminate the Devil Island. This place should not exist, and these people should not be given the chance to live. The fire god said, "God of Destiny, I heard that you've been there. You have any objections?" The Destiny god laughed coldly and said, "If you have no objections, you can kill him." Great Earth God, raise your hand. Destiny God looked at the Earth God. To the Destiny sect, to those who were loyal to him, they were but ants to him, ants of no value. The Earth God said lightly, "You are right, but this is a place that the Lord God created. If we want to kill them, we need the Lord God's consent." Everyone fell silent. The Forsaken Godland was a place that the sovereign had created all by himself. Lord God has to agree. At this time, a deity whispered, "I heard that a divine child is about to be born." Yes, I've heard so too. In addition, the celestial phenomena indicate that the birth of the Son of God could possibly change the entire world. It's been so many years since a godchild has appeared. Who do you think it is? I'm afraid the talent of the person selected by the Lord God is greater than anyone else. Could it be the reincarnation of God? Zhan Wushuang? He is about to reach the level of cultivating his fleshly body. If he is a son of God, then we must treat him well. Destiny God was shocked. If Zhan Wushuang is the godchild, his eyes blurred, the corners of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. God's shield, main artifact. If it was really the reincarnation of a god, then Zhan Wushuang really might be chosen by the god as a child of God. Once the main artifact is completely merged with, Zhan Wushuang will become the strongest person under the sovereign realm. Devil Island, Xianyang sect. An enormous crane flew over. He's here. Long Fei is here. The disciples of the Xianyang sect were stunned. Long Fei landed, glanced at the Xianyang sect's guards, and coldly asked, "This is the Xianyang sect?" "That's right." "Long Fei, you're finally here. This is your grave." Ha ha ha. An elder laughed coldly. At this moment, Long Fei said, "Then I won't be in the wrong place. With that, he landed behind the laughing elder, who also instantly killed him. Activate solar array. Long Fei, prepare to die. Ha ha ha. Chapter 1872. Bro, something awesome. Chapter 1872. Bro, something awesome. Long Fei die. On Xianyang Sect's mysterious sun summit, a ray of golden light shot towards the blazing sun in the sky. At this moment, the scorching sun seemed to have exploded, as countless rays of light surrounded the entire Xianyang Sect, releasing a buzzing sound in all directions. Solar array, with the sun at the head, the scorching sun as the guide. The gathering of Wanyang to form an incomparably powerful defense was also a type of offensive and incisive formation. Long Fei looked at the solar array behind him, and then looked at the Xianyang Sect disciples that were floating in the sky, and smiled slightly, and said, "If you want to release the solar array, you guys should have done it earlier. You guys should have kept me out of the way, yet you guys directly trapped me in the array. Aren't you all courting death?" Humph. Long Fei, we wanted to trap you inside the array. Do you really think you can get out? Ha ha ha. You can forget about it for the rest of your life. An elder of Xianyang Sect laughed. No one had been able to break the formation since the founding of the first generation of Xianyang Sects. After countless years of refinement, the solar array was even more perfect. Xianyang Ancestor laughed complacently. Even Flying Goddess was unable to break this formation back then. A piece of trash wants to break the formation? Long Fei looked at Xianyang Ancestor and asked, "Who said I want to break the formation?" "You've already trapped me inside. Why would I break the array? You should be the ones trying to break it, right?" He came here to kill. However, he had never thought of breaking through the formation. Long Fei looked at the Xianyang Ancestor. "If I kill you all, wouldn't this formation be broken? It's not that Flying Goddess can't break the array. It's just that she's too kind and can't bear to offend you all. I'm different. I came here to take back everything. Today, I will first execute your Xianyang Sect." As soon as he finished, the aura on Long Fei's body released out, and his killing intent became stronger. It was also at this moment Long Fei took a step forward. Whoosh! The purple gold light burst out, transforming into a stream of light, and rushed in front of Xianyang Ancestor. The purple star realm dares to be rash? Humph! You overestimate yourself. The two protectors who were beside Xianyang Ancestor grabbed his two bags from left and right, while the black star's light flashed from their bodies. Their cultivation was obviously above Long Fei's. A pair of swords in unison, two black rays of light pierced towards Long Fei's heart. Buzz, buzz. With the devil sword in one hand and fire dragon knife in the other, Long Fei grinned. "Your speed is too slow. It's like ants crawling." Indeed, in his eyes, he didn't know why the two protectors were so slow. It wasn't because they weren't fast enough, but because Long Fei had battled in the Devil Temple for 3 years, and his cultivation had not broken through yet, but his battle experience had already reached the pinnacle. In 4 holy monks' assessment, it was not as simple as defeating them. This was not an assessment at all. Rather, it was a type of experiential learning. Using the 4 holy monks' to train Long Fei would allow him to level up his combat skills greatly. This was also a type of arrangement, because Mu Wanner already knew that Long Fei would not cultivate the 100,000 legacy, but she was using another method to make Long Fei stronger. The hearts of all parents in the world. It could be said that Mu Wanner had spent a lot of time and effort facing the 1,000-man army of the god Rare Sect. Long Fei had not met any Black Star Realm powerhouse, so he could not feel it either. However, when he saw the 2 profound young protectors moving as fast as ants, he thought he was seeing things, but focusing their eyes. Their speed was truly like a tortoise's. This was the change brought about by his battle prowess. At this moment, Long Fei suddenly realized that these 3 years were not an examination, but training. He had become stronger. Too slow. Too slow. I've been waiting to the point that I can't wait any longer. Long Fei floated in midair and impatiently said, "Can't you guys hurry up?" "Humph! Brat, you are just a waste of Purple Star Realm, yet you dare to say that we are slow in front of us and put on an act." The bodies of the two protectors suddenly changed, moving in a myriad of illusions. In the air, thousands of figures appeared and attacked Long Fei. "Master, 2 of the clan elders are too powerful. This Long Fei is only a Purple Star Realm cultivator. He would definitely not be able to hold on. With one move, he would be killed. I think that's about right. Look at him standing still. He must be scared silly. He's still talking too much about being slow. Can he see the silhouette of the Grand Elder clearly? Who was she trying to scare? And I thought we were scared to death." "Exactly." A few disciples of Xianyang sect mocked. Xianyang ancestor did not make a sound, but a hint of a smile appeared in his eyes, because he also thought that Long Fei was only playing tricks on them, and could not resist the two's pincer attack. If Long Fei died, then he would become the #1 person in the Destiny God Palace, and might even be the first person to leave the Devil Island. Thinking about these Xianyang ancestor-s, he couldn't help but become excited. Ha ha ha. Thinking about it, Xianyang ancestor couldn't help but laugh out loud. One of the disciples standing beside him immediately flattered. "Master, our Xianyang sect was the first to have taken a fancy to him." What right does Zhou Tianma have to become the great clan elder, and even have the exclusive right to enter the secret palace? He will also become the first person after the flying goddess to leave the Devil Island. This flattery caused Xianyang ancestor to feel extremely comfortable. He laughed proudly and said, "Well said, ha." However, as he laughed, the sudden change in the situation had not gone as he had expected. One slash, one sword, fresh blood spurted out from the wound. Thousands of shadows were extinguished in an instant. There were no longer any figures of protectors left behind. "I said you guys are too slow. You dare to be cocky in front of me?" Long Fei's eyes flashed with a cold light. He looked at the sword, and the 2 corpses on the blade laughed coldly and said, "You can't even take a single blow." Swoosh, swoosh. He flung the 2 corpses away. At the same time, the system beeped. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing, Protector Xianyang for obtaining 30,000 experience, 3,000 holy power value, and 1 metamorphic energy value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Profound Young Illusion. Do you wish to cultivate it? Air. About this, Long Fei looked at the items that the system had dropped and said softly, "It has been a long time since Big Brother used his metamorphic energy value. There are a lot of disciples in Xianyang sect anyway. Even if nothing abnormal comes out, at most, I can just release it once more. Activate metamorphic energy value. Bro, some awesome stuff." Chapter 1873, Myriad Young Fission. Chapter 1873, Myriad Young Fission. Master System, I'm counting on you. He poured 100 points of metamorphic energy value into it. The only cultivation method that could be used was mysterious Yang fantasy. The system paused for 2 seconds, and then system beep-s rang. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Myriad Yang Fission Fusion. What? Fission of 10,000 suns. It's obviously just a cultivation technique. Why did it become a type of power? Is there a strong chemical reaction? Long Fei was a little stunned. A cultivation technique was a cultivation technique. Strength is strength. Holy artifact is holy artifact. No matter how abnormal his metamorphic energy value was, it would never leave his side. What it was, they would only become stronger. This was the first time that a cultivation technique had directly transformed into strength. Was extremely shocked. What I'm cultivating is a cultivation method, and what is fused is strength. This is the first time a cultivation method has become abnormal. Long Fei muttered in his heart, but he did not immediately merge the myriad young fission into his body. Instead, he opened up the system to check its attributes. Item: fission of 10,000 suns type, strength grade. Unknown attribute: fissile flame damage, 10 stars. Description: myriad yang fission is the fission of 1/10,000th of the mysterious yang energy within the mysterious yang illusion technique. It increases the strength of the mysterious yang to that of myriad yang. Description 2. The user can obtain the body of 10,000 yang by fusing with it. Description 3. The power of fission of 10,000 suns is extremely strong. It is a group attack, a destructive existence. Looking at the system's description of myriad yang fission, Long Fei became excited. Why does it seem to me that the fission of the profound yang group is due to the nuclear force? Fuse. The more heaven-destroying and earth-destroying it is, the more it needs to be fused. Boom. Following the movement of Long Fei's idea, the abnormal energy of myriad yang fission fused into Long Fei's body. In this instant, his body became like a flame. It burned. However, he didn't feel the slightest bit of pain. Instead, he felt a warm and comfortable feeling. The fire element was only a type of power within the Wanyang family. At the same time Long Fei fused with the 10,000 yang fission, his body also slowly became one of 10,000 yang body, and he could feel the yang energy in everything around him. Flowers, trees, rocks, buildings. Even Long Fei could clearly feel the yang energy in his body. The sun, the source of all yang energy, and Long Fei now felt as if his body had a sun in it, and that he could control all of the yang energy. Awesome. It feels so good. Ha ha ha. This is simply too great. Long Fei was extremely excited in his heart. Seems like there is a time limit to metamorphic energy value. The longer it takes to brew, the stronger the items that will be dropped. Ha ha ha. It's actually fission. It's just the surface. The instant Long Fei fused with the myriad yang fission technique, the dragon-shaped mark on his arm started to glow with a scorching light under his clothes and became extremely excited, as if it had been injected with chicken blood. Strength. The dragon-shaped mark became clearer and at the same time became more beautiful. The power contained within it exceeded Long Fei's imagination. From its strange appearance, every time Long Fei broke through, every time he leveled up, he gained even more power. After the Dragon King seal was revealed, the dragon-shaped mark became even more lively. Long Fei did not know. The main artifact dragon coffin that was lying quietly in his space ring was trembling from time to time, as if it was being pulled by some kind of force, and was slowly awakening. The left and right protectors were killed, leaving the Xianyang sect in complete silence. Xianyang ancestor was still laughing so hard that he didn't even have time to close his mouth, as he stared gloomily at Long Fei, his eyes emitting a strong killing intent. Long Fei. He let out a deep roar. Long Fei also recovered. He looked up at the Xianyang ancestor and sneered. I say, they are too slow. It's as slow as an ant crawling. Xianyang ancestor's face turned sinister as he said, this old man will not let you off. Today, I will make sure you die here. While they were talking, the aura on the old man's body stirred, and the Black Star Peak realm's power surged out like a flood, forming a powerful energy aura. A black light flashed. Very strong. Black Star Peak realm. The strongest warrior in the Xianyang sect. Long Fei glanced at him. then said faintly, "Don't be anxious. It's not your turn yet." And then Long Fei looked into the distance and lightly said, "This Xianyang sect is pretty big. At least the few main peaks of this profound Sun Mountain range is more than 10 kilometers wide. Kid, what do you want to do?" An elder shouted. Long Fei said, "What do you not want to do? Isn't your Xianyang sect always considered himself the #1 envoy of the fake god? I want to see how strong your Xianyang sect is." "Right. I need to ask a question. How many people does your Xianyang sect have?" Xianyang ancestors' gaze locked onto Long Fei and said, "What are you planning to do?" An elder beside him said, 3,000 elite disciples are in the plaza. As long as I give the order, they will immediately rush over and tear you into 10,000 pieces. You must be afraid." "Afraid? I'm really scared." Long Fei laughed and said, 3,000 elite warriors. If we count them, one level should be enough, right? He was a grade 9 purple star. He was still far from Black Star realm. To him, level was a good thing. The key was, as long as one stepped into the Black Star realm, the system would reward him. Then, Long Fei felt the extremely strong power of one yang in his body, and smiled slightly, saying, "Let's see how strong your power of 10,000 yang splitting fission is." Huff! In that instant, Long Fei's body sank. Buzz! An explosive sound reverberated all over his body. The entire space trembled, and rays of sun-like light shot out from all directions within his body. But this was not only the power of the sun, but also the power of 10,000 suns that was split apart by the mysterious sun. The beam of light scattered down. The entire profound Sun Mountain range was enveloped, and all the disciples of the Xianyang sect were stunned. What is this? What rich yang energy? Why does it feel like the aura is similar to the power of the solar array? What kind of power is this? They did not move. This kind of light that could split 10,000 suns felt warm and comfortable on their bodies, without any discomfort. Xianyang ancestor also had a stupefied expression. "Long Fei, what are you doing? What is this thing?" "Long Fei, you dog. Master is asking you a question. Hurry up and answer them." The beam of light became stronger and stronger until all the corners of the profound Sun Mountain range were illuminated. Long Fei slightly raised his eyes and gently smiled. "Do you want to know what this is?" He. "Open your eyes wide and look clearly. You will know soon enough." As soon as he finished, Long Fei's eyes suddenly became sinister. Fission explosion. Chapter 1874. One strike, 1 second. Chapter 1874. One strike, 1 second. As soon as he finished, the power of 10,000 suns in Long Fei's body suddenly released an intense fission power. It produced an incomparably strong reaction in the surrounding 10,000 sunlight beams. In an instant, just for a moment, the mysterious Sun Mountain range and the dozen or so mountain peaks all suddenly vanished, disappeared in a beam of light. There was no loud sound and no scene. Just at that moment, in the blink of an eye, Xianyang sect disappeared from the Demon Island. Not a single bit was left, leaving behind only a few dozen kilometers of flat ground and a bottomless abyss. It was a complete mess. At this moment, Long Fei's eardrums seemed to explode. Ding, 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 ding. All sorts of machine guns were fired out. Thousands of them all exploded in a second. Boom. If the system was a machine, he would definitely crash or even explode. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Black Star rank 1. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei for stepping into the Black Star realm. You have obtained a special reward. Reward item. Essence Chi / Do you wish to cultivate it? Essence Chi / The items rewarded by the system will definitely not be bad. Cultivate. Even if it's lacking, I can still be fused with the blasting fist. Ha! Long Fei moved and clicked on cultivation. There was an additional skill in his Qi method bar. At the same time, Long Fei was also in a stupefied state. I wiped it off. Fission of 10,000 suns. This F** king damage, it's heaven-defying. Destroy the entire sect in one move. Not only did he kill someone, the entire Xianyang sect was also gone. He wasn't captured by the Sumi rings, nor was he moved to another space. What kind of concept was this power? Terrifying to the point of being a complete mess. In the entire Xianyang sect, other than the Xianyang ancestor in front of Long Fei and a few elders, there were no other such things. They were all dumbfounded, as though they were idiots. They stood rooted to the spot, not moving at all. Some of the elders were about to go blind from the shock. They thought it was an illusion. However, even if they rubbed their eyeballs, it would be useless because this was reality. Xianyang ancestor's voice was trembling. His body was also trembling as he stuttered, Long Fei, what did you do? Where's the Xianyang sect? Where's my Xianyang sect? Xianyang ancestor's voice trembled. In that instant, he was completely dumbstruck, unable to react at all. The beam just now. What exactly is that beam of light that has the same aura as the solar array? Another elder said in a trembling voice. Long Fei grinned excitedly. Guess. Ha ha ha. The huge Xianyang sect disappeared with a thought. A few 100 kilometers away, the army led by the Temple of Destiny was slightly shaken. The leading Jiu Tianma suddenly stopped. Looking at the golden light from before, which was extremely dazzling, his expression turned sinister. What happened? Half a minute later, an elder reported anxiously, reporting to great clan elder, Xianyang sect. Speak. What are you hesitating for? Quickly tell me. Jiu Tianma's eyes trembled. That elder said, the Xianyang sect has disappeared. Disappeared. Jiu Tianma's brows tightened and said, the entire Xianyang sect disappeared? Yes, in the instant when the golden light was dazzling, all of the main peaks of the Xianyang sect disappeared in an instant. No one knows what happened. The elder quickly said. Jiu Tianma pondered for a moment, then asked, is the solar array still around? Reporting to great clan elder, the solar array is still here. Jiu Tianma sneered and said, as long as the solar array is not broken, it means that Long Fei is still inside. As for whether the Xianyang sect is gone, it doesn't matter. Pass down my orders. Everyone, summon out all your spirit channeling beasts. Use all your speed to rush to Xianyang sect in the shortest time possible. Jiu Tianma ordered. Looking into the distance, he laughed sinisterly. Long Fei, you won't be able to escape even if you have wings today. Just you wait. I will use your head to obtain that pass to leave the Devil Island. In an instant, fire at full blast. The tens of thousands of elite disciples of the 9 major sects summoned their spirit-channeling beasts, rushing towards the Xianyang sect crazily in a black mass. In another place. What just happened? It's the Xianyang sect. I've come to Xianyang sect before. It seems like Boss Long Fei was one step ahead of us. Lei Jiu and the others also saw it. LV Shuangquan looked at the horde of Destiny Divine Hall's army that blotted out the sky and covered the ground, and immediately said, look, the army of Destiny's Hall is here. Fuck, aren't there too many of them? It's all over the sky. Moreover, the ones with the worst cultivations were all in the Blue Star realm, and they were generally experts in the Purple Star realm. This was only what they saw. These were not the only truly powerful beauties. The heavy sword on Wang Tai's back hummed and said, "Let's hurry up." Mu Bing said, "What exactly happened with the beam of light just now?" "Sect Master, please do not let anything happen to you." Everyone rushed over. The Temple of Destiny had a large army. It could be said that the strongest warriors on the entire demonic island were gathered together. Facing such a powerful force, Lei Jiu and the others did not retreat, and rushed forward without hesitation. No matter what, as long as it was something I could share with Long Fei, I would do everything I can, even for him. He was talking about Long Fei. The feeling of annihilating the entire sect with a single move was overwhelming. But, however, using the myriad Yang fission skill once again would be a little painful. It was a type of power that didn't require a cooldown time, but needed a long time to replenish its energy. The power of 10,000 suns. Long Fei, give my Xianyang sect back to me. Xianyang ancestor's eyes turned sinister. His fists tightened. The spirit qi around his body became even more violent, and with that he rushed at Xiang Longfei. Long Fei's eyes darkened, and said faintly, "I just said it. It isn't your turn yet, but now. It's time." The metamorphic energy value had already been filled up. He could release them again. That abnormal feeling was simply too wonderful to describe. Not to mention, this Xianyang ancestor was emitting a faint golden light. It was a small boss. It would definitely drop quite a number of things. Seeing Xianyang ancestor rushing over, Long Fei did not dare to be careless. Black Star Peak Realm was not a simple cultivation method. Long Fei had not reached the level of being able to easily inskill. However, his level was not as good as Xianyang ancestors. But Long Fei had other powers that he could replace. The elemental energy slash that the system just rewarded can now be used. Long Fei grinned, watched as Xianyang ancestor forced his way in. He kept his devil sword and held the fire dragon knife tightly with both of his hands, then smiled. "Come, my little boss. Come and give me a go. Yuan Qi slash." Chapter 1875, Purple Sun Divine Power. Chapter 1875, Purple Sun Divine Power, using strength to form Qi and using Qi to condense and condense. Hurry it up. And it was also at this moment that the million-strong holy power value suddenly fell. A powerful force of energy was released from Long Fei's body. After a short period of brewing, it formed a powerful force of energy called the Fire Dragon Knife Strike. Shua, the saber qi, was like a mountain. It was incredibly heavy. The saber qi carried an incomparable essence qi. As it chopped down, he directly flipped Xianyang ancestor, who was charging towards him, onto the ground, and the amount of blood on his head also fell with a swoosh, leaving behind only a little bit of skin and skin. Rumble! A loud sound was heard as he hit the ground. "While he's sick, take his life." Long Fei did not stop there. The moment he landed, he immediately chased after him. Without waiting for him to get up from the ground, he stepped on his head and shouted, "Old man, you continue being arrogant with your words." Puchi! A mouthful of blood sprayed out. Xianyang ancestor stared straight at Long Fei and said solemnly, "Long Fei, don't be too complacent. Do you think you can survive today? Ha ha ha. You will definitely die today. Look behind you." Xianyang ancestor looked at the sky, where the sky was blotted out by the war beasts, as well as the elite disciples of the Destiny Hall. 10,000 elites, all assembled. Xianyang ancestor revealed his bloody teeth and laughed. "If I die, Lord Destiny will save me from hell too. What about you? Who can save you?" "Against God." "Long Fei, what qualifications do you have to fight against the gods?" You want to change the world? Change the rules? Ha ha. Ridiculous, extremely laughable. You can't even leave the evil demon island, and you can't even enter the ancient holy battlefield. How dare you try to change the world? Are you qualified? Xian Yang ancestor said one heavy sentence after another. How could a land of the forsaken god be opposed to a god? For thousands of years, only one goddess had managed to break through her shackles. So what if he broke through the shackles and broke the taboo? What was the outcome? He had disappeared completely without a trace. The evil demon island was only a place of abandonment, and the warriors here were all the lowest level existences in the ancient holy battlefield. Even if you were the strongest on the evil demon island, stepping onto the evil demon island would only make you like an ant. Change the world. This was a joke. For every warrior on the demon island, this was impossible. Long Fei looked at Xianyang ancestor and said, "Human lives forever. Is it comfortable to be a dog? Comfortable? You think you're human, but in the eyes of the destiny god, you're just a bunch of dogs, and they're even trash dogs. Do you think he'll let you leave the Devil Island? Do you think that following the god of fate can change everything? I have to say, you are too naive. Back then, Nielin was very naive. I never thought that all of you were so naive. I don't know if I can change the world, but at the very least, I won't accept it. Who the hell brought me to the Devil Island? As long as I break through the taboo, I will pay my respects to my ancestors for 18 generations. Long Fei's eyes trembled as she coldly stared at Xianyang ancestor and said, "There is nothing ridiculous in this world. As long as you work hard, even if you go insane, all you have to do is change this world. It would be such a waste of Laozi's expression to waste so much nonsense on you. All right, you're going to die." Long Fei was a little excited. The expression in Xianyang ancestor's eyes tightened and immediately said, "Long Fei, if you kill me, you will never be able to break the solar array." Long Fei smiled lightly and said, "Isn't that great? They can't even enter." Xianyang ancestor's body started to tremble, and he said, "Long Fei, you will die of fatigue here. Don't kill me. I beg you, don't kill me. Anything you want me to do is fine." Everyone was afraid of death. The longer they lived, the more they feared death. Long Fei laughed with interest. "Didn't you believe in the god of fate? Didn't he go to hell to save you? If you're begging me, you might as well beg him." Xianyang ancestor's body trembled even more. He knew clearly in his heart that he was in the eyes of the god of fate. In fact, the god of fate did not even know of his existence. Why did he go to hell to save him? It was absolutely impossible. Go beg. Go beg your god. Let him out. Long Fei shouted word by word, and in the end he said, "If the fate god dares to come out, this father will make him kneel in front of this father and sing a song of conquest." Ah. A loud roar rang out. Long Fei punched out. The Xianyang ancestor shouted, "Lord Fate God, save me." Ah! A miserable scream. The last bit of HP on Xianyang ancestor's head turned into 0. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Xianyang ancestor for obtaining 20,000 experience, 20,000 holy power value, and 1 metamorphic energy value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Profound Yang Sword. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Sun Force. The system sounded out a few times. Only 2 items dropped. A little boss is a little boss. How boring. However, Long Fei looked at the properties of the 2 items and muttered, "Things are not bad. The Profound Yang Sword is a holy artifact, but just the power of the sun. There were no excessive descriptions. All right, I like gambling. No matter how much of a transformation a holy artifact has, it is still just a holy artifact. Let's see to what extent this unknown level of scorching sun force you have reached. Long Fei moved. Immerse the power of the sun into the metamorphic energy value. The sun force disappeared from the system, and the 100 metamorphic energy value S also suddenly disappeared. Not long later, the system sounded out once again. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Purple Sun Divine Power. Do you wish to cultivate it? Huh. Long Fei was shocked. Damn, is it a special evolution? Before, it was godly power that has changed, but now it has changed from strength to godly power. Master System, you sure are awesome. However, this Purple Sun Divine Power, why do I feel like it's a technique from that novel? Is it really that book? Long Fei muttered to himself for a while. After thinking for a bit, he did not think about what kind of technique it was from the novel, and was too lazy to think too much. The idea moved, and said, cultivate. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 10,000 points for cultivating the Purple Sun Divine Power. The reward is also 10,000 points for cultivating the Holy Power value. Skill path, Purple Sun Divine Power grade. Spirit, mutated, consumption, 1 million godly force description. Purple Sun Divine Power, purple flames. Once released, the body will ignite with purple flames, and the warrior will enter a different battle mode. Description, the Purple Sun Divine Power is divided into 3 stages, and each stage is a type of mode. Special hint, if you forcefully activate a skill beyond what your body can handle, your body will explode and die. Rub. So scary. Chapter 1876, Forcefully Breaking the Array. Chapter 1876, Forcefully Breaking the Array, a body exploding cultivation technique. Just this point alone, I know that this cultivation method must be very abnormal. Body implosion? Ha. I might be a little afraid of others, but for me, Long Fei, it's just a small matter. Long Fei laughed. Of course, the god's immortal bead was not able to bring the dead back to life. It has its drawbacks. What if he couldn't revive? Long Fei did not dare to recklessly try the limits of the god's immortal bead. Long Fei, rumble! With a loud bang, the battle drums outside the solar array shook the sky. The 4 directions were surrounded by war beasts and the elite disciples of the Temple of Destiny. Long Fei's body slightly moved. Shua! He flew into the air and swept his eyes across the tens of thousands of disciples and beasts around him. The corners of his mouth curled up as he smiled and said, "Not bad. You're here to give me experience again. Do you know that I want to level up?" And then Long Fei shouted out loud and said, "Why are you calling out to your father?" Zhu Qianma's eyes turned sinister as a red light flashed across them. He said in a low voice, "Black Star Realm." One of the elders standing beside him immediately said, "He is clearly the Purple Star Realm. How did he break through again in such a short time? So what if he's in the Black Star Realm? The head elder is a super powerful warrior at the Silver Star Realm. There are only a few of them on the Demon Island." Exactly. So what if Long Fei is strong? This Lu Wanli can only kneel down and beg for mercy. Zhou Qianma looked at them coldly. The elders immediately shut their mouths. Zhu Qianma sneered, looked at Long Fei, who was inside the solar array, and said, "Long Fei, you're admitting your mistake while kneeling on the ground? Or do you want me to stomp you to the ground and beg for mercy?" While they were talking, Zhou Qianma glanced at the Xianyang sect in the 10,000 sun array, an empty space. If the solar array wasn't still here, Who would believe that this was one of the 10 sects? Zhang Xian panicked. What kind of fortuitous opportunity did he obtain? Jiu Qianma was shocked in his heart, but he was not afraid of anything because behind him was the god of fate. In this world, there was no one who could oppose gods, much less fate. Inside the main temple, fate was a god, to control the fate of 100,000 creatures. Therefore, Jiu Qianma was not afraid. Long Fei laughed. The minions of the fate god, your masters have all been stepped on by this daddy, and just all of you trashed together isn't enough for this daddy to play around with. Aren't you guys believers in the god of fate? Call him out. I will make him kneel in front of me and sing Conquer. Fate, the person Long Fei wanted to kill the most. Jojo and the other souls were still in the hands of the destiny god. So when Long Fei thought about what had happened inside the Chaos Realm's tower question of God, the anger in his heart flared up. How dare you? Jiu Qianma bellowed. Seems like you won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Long Fei immediately said, That's right, I am being too presumptuous. What can you do? Bite me? Come on in and bite me. Come on. Come the F****K. I will stand here. Long Fei said shamelessly. He originally wanted to break the array, but he discovered that he didn't need to. Someone would help him break the array. Jiu Qianma's eyes turned sinister, and he laughed coldly. You want to enrage me and break the formation for you, right? Ha ha ha. Long Fei, haven't you not seen your friend, brother, and woman for a long time? I know where they are. Long Fei's gaze tensed up. In that instant, Jiu Qianma's figure suddenly turned into a ray of silver light. His silver star realm cultivation burst forth. The entire solar array started to shake. And in that moment, rumble! Tens of km away, a small mountain peak exploded. A silver light flashed. One more person, and a woman appeared in Jiu Qianma's hands. Overlord Flower. Long Fei's pupils suddenly shrank. Little flower. The Overlord Flower's face was pale. They had hidden themselves very well. They knew clearly in their hearts at this moment that they couldn't let Jiu Qianma and the others find out. But Silver Star Realm was beyond their comprehension. The Overlord Flower said with difficulty, Long Fei, don't worry about me. Jiu Qianma laughed sinisterly. Long Fei, if you continue to be so arrogant, let me see. While speaking, Jiu Qianma grabbed the Overlord Flower's neck with one hand and raised her up into the air. Isn't your mouth powerful? Let's see how it goes. Ha ha ha. It was also at this time Yan Nantian, Wang Tai, LV Shuangchuan, and the others all rushed out. However, they were instantly blocked by the disciples of the Temple of Destiny. Long Fei. Brother Fei. Long Fei's brows tightened. He did not expect them to come too. Yan Nanshan's eyes turned cold, and he said, We've caused trouble for Long Fei. Long Fei took a step forward and flew to the side of the solar array. He glared at Jiu Qianma and said sinisterly, Try touching one of them. Ha ha ha. Jiu Qianma looked at Long Fei and said, Yo, angry? Then it seems like this woman is very important to you, right? Ha ha ha. I like to see other people suffer the most. Jiu Qianma said with a playful smile. His 2 fingers slowly exerted force, and the aura on his body slowly crushed the Overlord Flower. The Overlord Flower was struggling. Jiu Qianma laughed. Long Fei, are you feeling good? Must be fun, right? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. The surrounding people all loudly mocked him. Ding. The distance is not enough. Ding. System notification. The distance is not enough. The blasting fist had a cast distance. If it did not reach that distance, it would not be able to lock onto it. Looking at the Overlord Flower struggling in pain, Long Fei's anger of 100,000 flames burst out from his mind. The Reaper of Hell. Buzz, buzz, buzz. One by one, the Hell's Reaper was summoned out. Focus on one point. Break the array. Without any other methods, he could only break the formation. The power of the 12 Hells Harvest instantly exploded out, forming a powerful shockwave that concentrated at one point, just like a laser piercing through. Long Fei walked up to it step by step. The 12 streams of power forcefully tore a hole through the solar array. The hole was still struggling, and once the strength was retracted, the hole would once again close. This wasn't breaking the formation. This was forcefully tearing it apart. Zhu Qianma's eyes widened in shock as he thought in his heart, they really are the Reapers of Hell. I never thought that Long Fei would really subdue them. The solar array can be said to be the #1 formation on the Demon Island, a formation that has been refined for millions of years. No one can break this formation. Who would have thought that the 12 Hell Reapers would actually forcefully tear a hole through it? It's extremely terrifying. His mind was shocked. However, Zhou Qianma smirked complacently, because the moment Long Fei came out, the 12 strands of energy would be released, and the 12 Hell Reapers would be locked inside the solar array. What use was Long Fei without the Underworld Reaper skill? Chapter 1877, Super Strong Holy General. Chapter 1877, Super Strong Holy General. The Hell's Reaper was Long Fei's powerful fighting strength. Super Killer. If they were trapped in the solar array, then Long Fei's wings would have been severed. A bird with broken wings, could it still fly? Seeing Long Fei walking out of the crevice, Zhou Qianma laughed complacently. Long Fei, you are bound to be bound by too many restrictions. You are destined to never be able to become a strong warrior in your life. He isn't worthy of fighting against the God of Fate either. Buzz. The moment Long Fei walked out of the solar array, the formation sealed him up. 12 Hell Reapers was hidden in the array. The Overlord Flower's eyes were blurry with tears. It shook its head and said, Long Fei, don't worry about me, don't worry about me. Long Fei looked at the Overlord Flower, and his tears filled with heartache. He said gently, You are my woman. How can I not care about you? Ha ha ha. Zhu Qianma laughed out loud and said, Long Fei, what else do you have? He's really a brainless person to actually put the 12 Hell Reapers in a formation. Oh, right. I heard that you have another giant clan warrior, right? Zhu Qianma laughed complacently and said, What's the use of a giant clan in exile? Kneel obediently on the ground and beg for forgiveness. Zhou Qianma sneered. He once thought that Long Fei was very strong, but now it seems that he felt that Long Fei was too weak. Experts shouldn't have so many restrictions. Not to mention a woman. Even her own parents were the same. Zhu Qianma, the reason he was able to become a super expert of the Silver Star realm was because he had severed everything. Wife, child, parents, and brothers had all died under his cold sword. The shackles were severed. His cultivation could only progress crazily if he focused all of his attention on it. Others used 100 years, but he only used 50 years. Thus, when he saw Long Fei imprisoning the 12 Hell Reapers with his strongest fighting strength for the Overlord Flower, he laughed. Long Fei didn't even look at Zhou Qianma and said, To deal with you, I don't even need to use Giant Clan. As soon as he finished speaking, Shua, Long Fei's footsteps abruptly advanced, releasing all of his Black Star Realm speed. Buzz. Although it was not able to reach a speed of 500 kilometers in a single thought, it still managed to pull Zhou Qianma into the range of the blasting fist in an instant. Gudong! 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 The sleeves on his arms combusted, and as if Lu Faizan had just opened them, both his arms turned red, and the power of the blasting fist burst forth in an instant. Ding! Target locked. One with 10 gods. Explode for me! Without any hesitation, he rushed out and was about to kill Jiu Tianma in an instant because he touched Long Fei's bottom line. 10 rays of light burst out from Long Fei's fists, super berserk, hurricane burst boxing. The 10 beams of light merged into one. It transformed into an extremely strong stream of light that exploded towards Jiu Tianma. Jiu Tianma's eyes were opened wide in anger. His pupils shrunk as fast as wheat, his mind becoming tense. Is this your kind of instant death fist technique? His body trembled slightly. He couldn't help but tremble. He heavily swallowed his saliva suddenly through the Overlord flower and threw it towards the blasting fist. However, the blasting fist was a locking fist technique. Its trajectory would change according to the change in target and instantly avoid the Overlord flower, surging towards Jiu Tianma in an incomparably turbulent manner. Jiu Tianma retreated quickly, his palms and back covered with cold sweat. He had long known about Long Fei's technique. Every time he appeared, he would instantly kill him. Only once. On top of Demon Mountain, Long Fei's blasting fist was broken by the Underworld Reaper. Although he had to pay the price of one arm, the key point was that his blasting fist had been blocked. Seeing the Overlord flower fall from midair, Long Fei instantly flew over to catch her in his arms and said softly, "It's fine, it's fine." The Overlord flower was leaning against Long Fei's chest, burying its head in its chest, blaming itself. She made Long Fei worried. She had given Long Fei trouble. Women are used to protect. You don't have to blame yourself. I swear I won't put you in danger again. Long Fei said softly. He didn't know how many times he had said such a vow, but he had never been able to do it. Long Fei also blamed himself in his heart. Ah! Jiu Tianma screamed miserably as he watched the blasting fist getting closer and closer to him. He had never seen that kind of power before, yet it was that kind of power that he did not know about. Ah! Jiu Tianma shouted loudly, "Holy General, save me!" Shwa! Buzz! A beam of light descended vertically from the sky, and a stream of energy and chi was released like a wave of light, creating a powerful buzzing sound. Boom! Rumble! The impact of the energy wave created a loud rumble resounding through the entire sky. Long Fei's heart tightened. Another interruption? The blasting fist locked onto the target was definitely going to die. However, if it was forcefully interrupted by a super strong rancor in that instant, it would be too late even if the blasting fist could instantly change the trajectory. The system did not sound. There was only one result. The blasting fist was interrupted. Long Fei instantly placed the Overlord flower behind him and said in a low voice, "Hide behind me." Buzz! Light halos spread out, and a 3-meter-tall, extremely ugly monster that looked like a human or beast appeared in front of Jiu Tianma, blocking his path. It was incomparably thick. Moreover, Long Fei was extremely familiar with this aura. It was the aura of the God of Fate's power. Different from the aura of the Wheel of Fortune on these warriors, the aura emitted by this so-called Holy General was extremely strong. Just like his true body, unrivaled power. More importantly, Long Fei's blasting fist was broken at the peak of the 3rd level, but one of the arms of the Underworld Reaper was destroyed. But the Holy General in front of him didn't receive the slightest bit of injury, not even the slightest bit. How strong was his defense? Every plane of existence has its own shackles of laws. Unless one is a sovereign, it is impossible for one to surpass them, and the power of the destiny god of the ancient holy battlefield is completely different from what it was in the past. Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Zhu Tianma laughed in an incomparably arrogant manner as he looked at his own body that was unharmed and became even more excited. Ha ha ha! This is the Holy General. A Holy General created by the Lord of Fate. You easily blocked your strongest punch. What do you have left? Zhou Qianmo was excited. Moreover, at this moment, Zhu Qianmo looked up into the sky, his eyes filled with absolute piety, and said, Lord Fate God, descend and bring down all of the Holy General you have created. Buzz. Boom. A beam of light descended, and a Holy General stood on the ground. Boom. Another beam of light descended. Boom, boom, boom. A total of 12 Holy Generals, extremely powerful. Chapter 1878, Hardness, 100,000 Combo. Chapter 1878, Hardness, 100,000 Combo. They were all extremely ugly, like human or animal soldiers. However, there was one thing that mattered. They were tall and sturdy, and their entire bodies radiated with a powerful aura. The other martial artists had the wheel of destiny revolving around them, while they covered their entire body with a massive shield of destiny that could be seen with the naked eye. His defense was also extremely powerful. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, did you see that? I was just asking if you saw it. This is the Holy General, an existence that can crush your 12 Hell Reapers for tens of thousands of miles. Zhu Tianma excitedly laughed out loud. Without the ability to kill with a single punch, Long Fei had lost another arm. The current Long Fei was no longer a threat to him. The people of the Temple of Destiny were all excited as well. Seeing the appearance of the 12 Holy Generals, the reverence towards the God of Destiny increased by a bit. Absolutely. He definitely wouldn't dare to rebel. Long Fei's eyes became tight. He's so damn strong. I can't find any weaknesses. During the 3 years in the Demon Temple, Long Fei could be said to have been reborn. He could see the weaknesses of every person, but in front of the 12 Holy Generals, he could not see anything. Who? Let's give it a try first. Long Fei made up his mind and said to the Overlord Flower behind him, Don't move recklessly here. As soon as he finished, Long Fei's footsteps moved. A black light shot into the sky as the fire dragon knife in his hand dragged a long flame. In an instant, it arrived in front of a Holy General. A heavy slash. Shwa. Rumble. Fire blade Qi transformed into a fire dragon roared and slashed at the top of Holy General's head. However, a scarlet letter floated above Holy General's head. Miss. Not only that, Long Fei's hands became numb from the impact, and he felt extremely uncomfortable. His fire dragon blade was almost blown away by the impact, and without much thought, it flew back in an instant. Shua, Holy General, did not give chase, but stood quietly in place, not moving at all. The slash, just now, was like an itch to Holy General. Black Star Realm, super strong fire dragon blade. But it was the MIS, 0 damage. Long Fei's heart immediately tensed up. At the same time, he also became excited. The stronger the boss was, the more excited he became. As long as the boss was strong enough, it would definitely drop something. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, your strength can't even harm the skin of Holy General, right? Zhu Qianma was incomparably proud, and he had seen the move just now very clearly. Holy General was unscathed. Long Fei's arms were struck numb. He was getting more and more excited. Lord Destiny is truly powerful. 12 women becoming 12 Holy General. No one can match him for creativity. Ha ha ha. The Overlord Flower looked at Long Fei and said, Long Fei, the auras of these Holy Generals are a bit too cold and sinister. Look at their bodies. Even though they're wrapped up in that sort of sinister thing, they seem to be human beings. Long Fei also noticed this. Beneath the hideous appearance, there were a few patches of fair skin. Furthermore, it was bare skin. Was it a human? Long Fei's mind tightened. He instantly wanted to hit Jojo, Qian Qian, Lu Luoxi, and the others, if they were also turned into such by the god of fate. Giggle! Long Fei clenched his fists. The joints popped. In that instant, Long Fei said slightly, "Little flower, stand far away." The Overlord Flower replied, he was very clear about her strength. Staying behind would only bring about trouble for Long Fei. Long Fei looked at the 12 holy generals, and his aura grew heavy. He let out a breath, his eyes tensing up as he locked onto another divine sword, and charged forward. Boom! All the energy in his body exploded. The black-colored flames emitted from his body started to burn crazily. Jiu Tianma sneered, "You overestimate your strength. I didn't attack you earlier. You think I wouldn't attack you this time? 12 holy generals, listen up. Kill them all." The moment Jiu Tianma finished speaking, the 12 holy generals did not react immediately. They were not commanded by Jiu Tianma. Seeing Long Fei rushing towards them, one of the holy general's eyes moved slightly, and he instantly moved to block Long Fei's way. Energy undulations rippled like waves. It was like an attack that could topple mountains and overturn seas. Long Fei crossed his hands in front of his chest. Boom, 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 boom. With a series of explosive sounds, Long Fei's body explosively retreated. As if the bones in his hands had been broken, his internal organs were all shifting, unable to withstand the pressure, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. However, the power released by the holy generals seemed to be very relaxed, and was not their strongest power. Moreover, while he's sick, take his life. After sending Long Fei flying with a palm, the holy general did not stop there. Boom, boom, boom. Both of his arms were shattered, and his entire body felt extremely uncomfortable. Being constantly suppressed and beaten up was a feeling that made Long Fei extremely unhappy. "Ah! Xiao Yan!" Long Fei roared out, and Xiao Yao, who had already reached level 85, suddenly flew up into the air upon hearing Long Fei's summons. Yi Zichen moved his hands. The heavenly flame surged. Boom, boom. Although it hadn't reached Emperor's flames yet, the heavenly flames had already reached an extremely profound level. The holy general's body suddenly sank, and the wound on his head quickly healed. Long Fei gasped for breath. With a heavy stomp of his right foot, he rose from the ground and roared out, "It's my turn!" In an instant, stepping atop the burning holy general, he dove down with both fists clenched tightly. Both of his arms turned red, and the dragon-shaped mark on his hands also became even more sinister. Ah! Bang, bang, bang! Bang, bang, bang! Without a care for anything else, they attacked each other crazily. Their fists were like a torrential storm. After smashing Holy General from midair to the ground, Long Fei still did not stop. He punched on the head, and each time he punched out, a number would appear at the same time. 3,800 combo attacks. 6,732 combo. 18,000 combo strikes. 35,000 combo. At the same time Long Fei attacked, the other 12 holy generals looked at him coldly. They did not intend to help him, as their eyes were ice cold. Heartless. Jiu Tianma was stunned, seeing Xiao Yan suddenly casting the heavenly flame. His heart tensed. There's a hidden trump card. At the same time, he was also angrily shouting, "Quickly go and help!" In that instant, 99,998 combo 99,999 combo. Huff. 100,000 combo. Long Fei roared towards the sky. The spirit chi on his body suddenly turned sinister. Holy General, right? Was it created by the god of fate? F*CK, you. Go ahead and explode. Long Fei's fists were like battling axes as they heavily cleaved down. Chapter 1879, Purple Sun, Heavenly Sunlight. Chapter 1879, Purple Sun, Heavenly Sunlight. His two fists exploded, chopping down heavily. It hit Holy General on the head. The last bit of blood on top of Holy General's head also instantly drained. Long Fei became excited. Come on, go ahead and explode. Subduing the 12 Hell Reapers would result in him leveling up to level 12 consecutively. Killing the 12 Holy Generals, wouldn't that mean that he would be promoted by 12 levels as well? Upgrade. Too awesome. Long Fei closed his eyes and listened quietly. He was waiting for the system beep to ring, but after 3 seconds had passed, the system did not sound out any notifications. At this moment, Yen Nantian suddenly shouted loudly, "Long Fei, be careful!" Long Fei's eyes opened, and an extremely cold chi rose up from the ground, allowing the Holy General that was killed by Long Fei to come back to life. Furthermore, at this moment, he struck with his palm. Boss! Xiao Yen transformed into a ray of light that rushed over. The flame in his hand went up to the sky and blocked the attack. Rumble! 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 Fiery light filled the sky as a figure flew out like a kite with its string cut, falling from the sky. Long Fei's eyes widened. Xiao Yen! The idea moved. Xiao Yen was immediately recalled. At this moment, Xiao Yen was seriously injured, and his life hung by a thread. If he had not blocked this move, then the one who would have fallen to the ground would definitely be Long Fei, and it might not even be the god's immortal bead that would be able to resurrect him. He. Long Fei's teeth were about to break. Xiao Yen had once been his idol, and was one of his favorite protagonists in fantasy novels. From the moment he received the rewards, Long Fei had treated him as a brother. Now that he saw how heavily injured he was, moreover, because of his own injuries, Long Fei felt really upset in his heart. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Zhu Tianma started laughing out loud. He was sweating for the Holy General, but he did not expect it to revive in place. What was going on? Resurrected? And it seems that his strength has increased. Could this be the legendary law of fate? An existence that transcends fate, with no signs of life. Similarly, it has an immortal body? In all of Main Temple, only Lord Destiny can do such a thing. It's too scary. Long live the Lord Destiny. At this moment, over 10,000 disciples of the Destiny Temple kneeled on the ground and shouted in unison, "Lord Destiny, eternal immortality, transcending fate." In fact, it was the fate of the fate, Holy General, that separated them. There was no life, and at the same time, it was also the immortal body. Of course, this kind of undying body wasn't absolute. This was the power of the 12 Holy Generals. They won't feel any pain, no fear of death. They would not die either, because their bodies were immortal bodies. Far away in the main temple, the god of fate laughed coldly. "Long Fei, are you satisfied now?" Although it wasn't on the Devil Island. However, the Destiny God had been paying attention to every single move on the Demon Island, from the appearance of Long Fei, to the strange energy fluctuations on the Demon Island, to when the Holy General revived and heavily injured Xiao Yen. He had all witnessed it. This was the feeling. I was almost killed by you in Chaos Realm. However, that's in the chaos realm. If it wasn't for the powerful laws of the plane restricting my power, do you think you would have survived? This is the ancient holy battlefield. It's my territory. Watch how I play you to death. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. The fate god laughed out loud and walked towards a large black box. The box was transparent, and there was a fluorescent light floating inside. One of the balls hit the box crazily, like it was going to break through it. The fate god said with a cold smile, "What? Are you angry at me for hurting your sweetheart? Ha ha ha. Don't worry. I will definitely let you all reunite. I have never seen a soul as strong as Long Fei's, or even stronger than his mother's, Mu Wanner's soul by a few points. As long as I can get his soul, hee, ha ha ha." The god of fate did not continue. The laughter was arrogant. The huge black box in front of him trembled crazily. The black box was more than 10 kilometers in size, and the light from it was like stars in the sky, hundreds of millions of them. He had mastered the laws of fate for 100,000 planes. However, he was unwilling to only grasp these things. What was the fate of 100,000 creatures? He wanted to control the fate of all living things, including a sovereign. This was his ambition. And Long Fei, he was getting more and more agitated. Xiao Yan's serious injuries were extremely stimulating to him. Zhou Tianma laughed madly. "Long Fei, you can still have any more trump cards you want to use. Brat, today is the end of you. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, you have such a day? At the peak of the Fiend Mountain, you were so arrogant. Long Fei, you can't even beat the Holy General, and you're still trying to fight with the fake god?" Countless sounds of ridicule could be heard. Long Fei roared, his eyes bloodshot, the power of his entire body changing once again. Purple sun divine power. "Open for me." Ding! System notification. The purple sun divine power is too powerful. The player's current cultivation is unable to withstand it. Ding! System notification. The purple sun divine power is too powerful. The player's current cultivation is unable to withstand it. Ding! System notification. The purple sun divine power is too powerful. The player's current cultivation is unable to withstand it. The system continuously sounded out red warning beeps. Black Star Realm. He couldn't bear the release of a cultivation technique. Too strong. Your father wants yours to be too powerful. Long Fei's eyes became sinister and shouted, "Go and forcefully activate it." Xiao Yin was seriously injured. 12 Hell Reapers was trapped. The Devil Temple was far away from God Rare Sect. Even if the warriors of the giant clan came out, they would still not be a match for the Holy General. The same went for the life-snatching scholar of the Flying Crane. The blasting fist was in the midst of cooling down. Just as Zhou Tianma had said, Long Fei had already used up all his trump cards. The purple sun divine power was the only cultivation technique he could rely on. After hearing the system's alarm, Long Fei became even more excited. In that instant, Long Fei's entire body was suddenly wrapped up by the purple flames, and the 1 million points of holy power value suddenly disappeared as well. Boom, 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 boom. The purple sun divine power is divided into 3 stages. The power of each realm is extremely different, but the power it contained, however, was incomparably enormous. The purple sun divine power was Long Fei's last trump card. No matter how much he paid, he would not hesitate. He couldn't take it anymore. To his brother, the one who made a move was still Xiao Yin. If he did not get his revenge, F***CK, I swear I'm not human. Long Fei's current cultivation could not even reach the first stage. He could only use his own profound qi and longevity as a price to forcefully reach the first stage. First stage, Purple Sun Heaven Shine. Chapter 1880, Immortal Body. Chapter 1880, Immortal Body, boom. The purple flames on Long Fei's body suddenly exploded outwards. His eyes, his pupils had also turned into a ball of flame, and they were burning. Strange, fierce. No one dared to look directly at him. Purple pupil, what is this power? Every part of his body is covered in purple flames. Won't he die from these flames? What is it? Everyone was shocked by Long Fei's sudden change. Zhu Tianma sneered and said, "So what if your strength changed again? Holy General does not have any lifespan, so there is no limit to his revival. Long Fei can only get beaten up." What kind of existence was the Holy General? If he had doubts at the beginning, Zhou Tianma would now believe without reservation that no one on the Demon Island was a match for the Holy General. Long Fei was naturally not either. Great Clan Elder is right, no matter how much Long Fei changes, with his cultivation realm right there. How strong can he be? Long Fei, you are just making a useless struggle. Hurry up and die. The strength of Long Fei's body became very strong. No matter how strong he was, would he be as strong as a god? Even though the Holy General created by the Destiny God wasn't a god, he was still a Holy General created by a god. It was a piece of cake for him to crush Long Fei. Long Fei did not speak, because at this moment he felt a power that he had never felt before. Powerful heaven's illumination. All of them were gathered in his eyes. The kind of violet sun burning, the surging power of heaven's will. Long Fei's eyes sank as he stared at the heavily injured Holy General. In the blink of an eye, the sky was dark. Holy General's eyes were cold as he stared at Long Fei fearlessly. The instant their eyes met, rumble, 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 Holy General's body ignited, and purple flames burned crazily. The bloody groove above his head quickly revealed the bottom of his body, but Holy General did not let out a scream. He couldn't feel anything. No pain. No life. He stood where he was and looked at Long Fei. Finally, in less than 10 seconds, his body was burnt to ashes. The moment his health fell to 0, his body was reborn, perfectly intact. Zhu Tianma excitedly roared, "Ha ha ha! Long Fei, did you see that? Resurrection, woo ha ha! Holy General is unrivaled in the world. Just with you, Long Fei? How can he be a match for us?" A glance was all it took to kill him. In an instant, he was resurrected. The power of this damage was off the charts. This kind of power that could revive him in place was extremely powerful. When Zhou Tianma saw that the Holy General had revived with incomparable excitement, his reverence towards the Lord of the Destiny God became even stronger. The God of Fate controls all fates. Only by believing in the God of Destiny can one obtain an immortal body or even eternal life. But Holy General did not die, but the purple flames on his body also did not extinguish. This was the power of the Purple Sun Heaven Shine. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Within a few seconds, the Holy General turned into ashes once again. He fell down again. Boom. With a loud sound, the Holy General was resurrected. Once again, it was resurrected at the same place, and the time it took for the god's immortal bead to be revived was even faster than Long Fei's. Unbelievable. Ha ha ha. It has come back to life again. Did you see that the Holy General has revived again? Long Fei, come again. Zhu Tianma started to laugh maniacally again. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. His purple eyes shone with a cold light There is no such thing as an immortal. Even a god would be the same. Everyone has a lifespan limit. Sovereigns are no exception. It is just a ghost beast created by the god of fate. It can't be immortal, nor can it be absolutely immortal. Something must be wrong. The power of the purple sun heaven shine was very strong, very strong. As long as they met eyes with each other, they would be instantly burnt by the purple flames. This purple flame would not extinguish. Even if the holy general were to die, it would not extinguish. Unless a strong power stopped it, it would never extinguish. And because he was so powerful, long phase cultivation could not withstand the first level of power of the purple sun divine power. But now, infinite burn, infinite death, the holy general resurrected without end. How could this continue? If they couldn't kill him, what was the point in using all of their strength? Rumble, a holy general, was burned into ashes once again and resurrected in an instant. It was as good as ever without any changes. Long Fei observed every detail. However, he did not find any problems. They couldn't be killed. They just couldn't kill him. Jiu Qianma laughed out loud and said, "Long Fei, they are indestructible bodies created by Lord Destiny. No amount of power can kill them. It's the same even if they turn into ashes." Scared. Ha ha ha. Seeing Long Fei's expression, which was not locked tight and had no solution, Jiu Qianma could not help but laugh complacently. How could this be? Why? Is there really an immortal body in this world? Why can't I kill him even after killing so many times? Were they turned into ashes already? Lanya frowned. They looked at everything that was happening in the distance and were extremely puzzled. Wang Tai looked into the sky and said faintly, "Perhaps. This is probably the world controlled by God." Lei Jiu said, "I don't care who controls this world. I only believe that there is no one in this world who can't die. Even the destiny god will die. Otherwise, why would the ancient holy battlefield exist? Why is Main Temple afraid of losing? Because once the ancient holy battlefield's forces lose, they would be eliminated and they would die. There must be a problem." Yan Nantian said, "But what's the problem?" Mu Bing looked at Long Fei and muttered, "Sect Master won't be able to hold on for long, so the purple flames on his body are burning his vitality and essence. If this goes on for too long, he'll die. What should we do? What do we do now?" He was incomparably frantic. It was just as Mu Bing said. Long Fei forcefully activated the purple sun divine power using his own vitality and life force as its foundation. His lifespan was rapidly decreasing, and once his lifespan ran out, he would die. This kind of death was not something that the god's immortal bead could revive. Suddenly, Long Fei thought of all these. It's not like these holy general have no longevity. It's because their main body isn't here at all. They are just a repellent with an indestructible lifespan and an undead body. This is the power that the fate god created for them. I got it. In that instant, Long Fei suddenly understood. The idea suddenly sent a sound transmission to Yan Nantian and the others and said, "Retreat." At this moment, the other 11 holy generals seemed to know what Long Fei was thinking about. Their bodies slightly moved, instantly sealing off all of Long Fei's escape routes. Jiu Qianma laughed coldly. "You want to escape? There's no way." Chapter 1881. The Realm of Absolute Killing. Chapter 1881. The realm of absolute killing. His main body was no more, and his longevity was indestructible. Destiny doesn't die. This was the reason why the holy general resurrected without end. Even if Long Fei killed himself, he would not be able to kill them. However, other than being powerful and immortal, the Holy General S had also been watching Long Fei's every move. When he sent a sound transmission to Yen Nantian, and the others, the Holy General had already intercepted it. Buzz, buzz, buzz. One Holy General after another pulled Long Fei back, forming a circle. The auras of the 11 Holy General S were linked together and formed an inescapable net. You want to escape? Ha ha! Long Fei, you won't be able to escape this time. Jiu Qianma sneered. Jiu Qianma slightly shouted out and said, "Surround him." The 10,000 Fate Temple's elites and beasts instantly surrounded Long Fei, unable to get even a drop of water to leak out. The inner 3 levels, the outer 3 levels. It could be said that it was an inescapable trap, a place where even wings could not escape. This is bad. Boss Long Fei is surrounded. Then what are we waiting for? Let's kill our way over. The Overlord Flower turned its head to look at Long Fei, who was trapped. Yen Nantian pulled Long Fei and said, "No, we will only add to his troubles by going over. We should trust him at this time." The Overlord Flower stared at Yen Nantian and said, "Yen Nantian, what do you mean?" Over 10 Holy General S, along with over 10,000 elite disciples of the Destiny Hall. Do you want to watch Long Fei die here? Was it because Long Fei humiliated you back then and killed Nian Lin that you had always harbored such hatred in your heart? Seeing Long Fei being surrounded, the Overlord Flower had already lost its reason. LV Shuangchuan immediately said, "Senior sister, don't speak nonsense." Wang Tai also said solemnly, "Junior sister apprentice, you have passed." Yen Nantian laughed bitterly and said, "Believe in Long Fei. If we go, it will only cause him to fall into a passive state. I don't care what you think of me. I definitely won't let you go to Long Fei's side." His heart was in pain, but when he had made his choice at the peak of the Fiend Mountain, he hadn't changed. The Overlord Flower's words were unpleasant to hear, but he could understand it. Similarly, he also wanted to rush to Long Fei's side and kill him, but if he did, all of them would have died here. Wang Tai said, "Brother Yen is right, let's go quickly." At this moment, Long Fei roared out once again, "All of you quickly leave." LV Shuangchuan said, "Senior sister, let's go." Yen Nantian said, "I will be the villain." Suddenly, with a sudden movement, he knocked the Overlord Flower out and carried it as he flew out with large strides. Everyone shrank back. Great Clan Elder, Yen Nantian, and the rest escaped. Jiu Qianma laughed coldly and said, "Those ants are not a threat. As long as we capture Long Fei, everything will be fine." Now, Long Fei was like a turtle in a cloud. He could not escape at all. The purple flames on Long Fei's body was still burning. Looking at the 11 Holy General S and the tens of thousands of elites, he sighed in his heart, "Damn, what a pity." Jiu Qianma sneered and said, "What a pity." "What's a pity?" "Long Fei, is it a pity that you're going to die?" Long Fei laughed. "It is indeed a pity, but it is only a matter of time. Go back and tell your master that I, Long Fei, will definitely come to the main temple and pay respects to all 18 generations of his ancestors." As soon as he finished speaking, Long Fei moved. Boom! With a loud sound, the flying crane broke through the air and flew out. Long Fei did not dare to retrieve the purple sun divine power on his body. He was worried that if he did, his body would not be able to withstand it. The flying crane cried out. Shwa! He flew into the air. Flying crane, the #1 war beast on the demonic island. It was also the first speed war beast. Jiu Qianma was shocked. He roared, "Don't let him escape." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 11 Holy General S suddenly moved and once again blocked off the flying crane's path in the air. Crap! Long Fei's heart sank. The life-snatching scholar blocked in front of Long Fei. A sword pierced through the air. In that instant, the 9 heavens and the 10 earth trembled. Endless killing intent surged. One of the clan elders was shocked. 9 days and 10 places killing space. This is probably the 9th stage of the 9 days and 10 places killing space. The killing realm. Killing realm. Impossible. In the entire God rare sect, no one is cultivated to such a high level. This is a cultivation technique passed down from the flying goddess, and no one is cultivated to such a high level in the God rare sect. There is a person who has reached this level of cultivation. She was one of the disciples in the God rare sect, and was also the only disciple. She was also the person who brought the God rare sect to the head of the 10 sects later on. Nicknamed Destroyer. Impossible. That was 1,000 years ago. Even a powerful warrior at the peak of the Devil Island wouldn't be able to live past 1,000 years. It's impossible for him to be trying to take his life. Jiu Tianma frowned. There were too many mysterious rancors in the God rare sect, especially during the time of the Flying Goddess. It could be said that all of the rancors on the Demon Island were in the God rare sect. Life-stealing was one of them. Furthermore, he was a sword genius and the first person to train in the 9 days and 10 places killing space after the goddess of heaven and earth. However, he was someone from 1,000 years ago, so it was impossible for him to appear here. No matter who he is, even if he wants to take my life, so what? He is also not a match for Holy General. Jiu Tianma roared and chased after her with all his strength. At this moment, he also felt the 10 great killing intents in the sky, as if his life was withering. This feeling, this was the killing intent. Time seemed to be forbidden in this space. Everything was controlled by this killing intent. Long Fei's mind was in shock. He knew that the Life-Stealer Scholar was very strong, but he did not expect him to be this strong. Listening to the discussions around him, his heart tightened even more. Others didn't believe that he was taking his life. However, Long Fei believed her, because he was his mother's disciple. He was beginning to understand why she had risked her life to save him at all times. Now, he finally understood everything. Long Fei's heart was incomparably moved. Mother! Boom, boom, boom. In an instant, a crazed explosion sounded from within the 9 days and 10 places killing space. All those who entered killing inner space were instantly killed. But 11 Holy General was safe and sound. All the powerful attacks struck their bodies, causing countless of critical injuries, but they could not feel any pain. 11 palm strikes came crushing down. Long Fei turned his head to look at the life-snatching scholar, and suddenly shouted out, "Scholar! F***CK, your ancestor!" Long Fei had already escaped, but seeing the 11 huge palms striking the life-snatching scholar's body, he did not have the time to care about that anymore. He turned around and dashed back. Purple Sun Divine Power. Second stage, open for me. Chapter 1882, second level, Purple Sun Buddha. Chapter 1882, second level, Purple Sun Buddha. The Holy General was too strong. With 11 powerful palm strikes hacking down, there was no chance for the life-snatching scholar to survive. He would die. Once the Life-Stealer Scholar appeared, he would be prepared for it. 1,000 years of waiting, the seal of memory, the seal of time, to him, was precisely for the sake of waiting for Long Fei's appearance. Long Fei appeared. He promised the heavenly goddess that he would do everything in his power to protect her. Before this, he thought that someone was controlling his consciousness and wanted him to protect Long Fei. However, when he entered the underground palace and saw everything in the Hall of Immortals, he knew that this consciousness was something that he had planted 1,000 years ago. Long Fei was the young master. Even if he had to sacrifice his life, he had to protect Long Fei. No matter how powerful the Holy General was, or how powerful the Temple of Destiny's army was, he was not afraid. The 9 days and 10 places killing space killed thousands of war beasts and disciples of the Temple of Destiny, but they did not kill Holy General. At that moment, they knew they were going to die. But he did not regret it. Seeing Long Fei's sudden return, his eyes narrowed, and he shouted, "Young master, no!" When Long Fei returned, all that he had done was for nothing. Boom! The purple flames on Long Fei's body rose crazily, and with every step he took, he created thunderous explosions while stepping on the spatial fragments. The purple flames on his entire body were like hell flames. Second stage of the Purple Sun Divine Power, Purple Sun Buddha. Open for me. He roared. Ding. System notification. Player's cultivation is too low, unable to withstand second stage of Purple Sun Divine Power. Ding. Without waiting for the system's voice, Long Fei shouted in fury, "I'm going to bite your 8 generations of ancestors, activated forcefully." What can't be endured? Wasn't it just burning profound chi and longevity? If he couldn't even protect his own brother, then what was the use of using so much of his lifespan? Not to mention, the life-snatching scholar had a special meaning to Long Fei. He could die for himself. Long Fei was the same. Rumble! With a roar in the sky, a ray of holy light of the violet sun descended from the sky, directly landing on Long Fei's body. Huge, terrifying, a peerless existence. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Long Fei gasped for breath like an ox. His eyes, nose, mouth, and ears were all leaking blood, causing him to bleed from all 7 apertures. However, for his brother, Long Fei was not afraid. The Purple Sun Buddha fell. Boom! Long Fei blocked in front of the life-snatching scholar, blocking all 11 of the Holy General's palms, and was completely unharmed. The life-snatching scholar said solemnly, "Young lord, you shouldn't have come back." Long Fei grinned. "Before I agree, you are not allowed to die for me. Do you understand?" The life-snatching scholar looked at Long Fei and saw his resolute eyes. That kind of fearless expression was truly the same as the flying heaven goddess back then. However, the goddess of sky had never been in such a desperate situation before. And Long Fei, it was as if his entire body was about to explode. The life-snatching scholar's heart tightened. Zhu Tianmo laughed loudly. "Ha ha ha! Long Fei, I have thought too highly of you. Who would have known that you were such a brainless person running away and coming back here? Ha ha ha! You really have a lot of ties." Relying on the speed of the flying crane, Long Fei could have escaped. However, Zhou Tianma never thought that Long Fei would actually come back. Isn't this courting death? Grand Elder, what's the huge deity statue above his head? Who cares what he is? Everything in front of Holy General is trash. That's right. Look at how miserable the current Long Fei is. He's bleeding from all 7 orifices, and he won't be able to hold on for long. Not just blood. Every single pore in Long Fei's body seemed to be splitting apart as his muscles, veins, blood, and organs, even his heart, which was protected by the god's immortal bead, began to flutter and crack. The Purple Sun Divine Power had already exceeded the limits of Long Fei's body. Even with his profound chi, he couldn't sustain the burning of his life force. This power was too strong. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo, huff, puff, huff. Long Fei panted like an ox, his body constantly trembling. Looking at the 11th Holy General, Long Fei shouted, "All of you, F*King come. Go for your father. Come on." As soon as he finished, 11 Holy General S moved in unison. Fast. It was extremely fast. It could not be described with words. The life-steal scholar's eyes darkened as he said, "Young master." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei suddenly disappeared. As well, Long Fei's speed was even faster than theirs. With one step, the Tathagata Buddha above their heads struck down with his palm. Rumble! The violet sun shone brightly. A huge palm came crashing down. It was like a layer of sky crushing down. Rumble! 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 One move. They directly blasted the 11 Holy General-S down from the sky and directly exploded on the ground, forming a deep crater from 11 to several thousand meters deep and causing the entire ground to tremble. The mountain range was moving. It went berserk. Zhu Qianma's face paled. His state of mind felt as though it was about to shatter. Everyone was dumbstruck. The strength of the palm strike just now had reached an unimaginable level. Terrifying, too fierce, too abnormal. Many disciples were so frightened that they vomited blood and fell from the sky. This power. He defeated 11 Holy General-S in one move. Is this an illusion? Am I seeing things? My God! Fear arose in his heart as Zhu Qianma's body trembled uncontrollably. He was an expert of the Silver Star realm, but in front of the current Long Fei, he was as insignificant as an ant. If that force had hit him, there was no doubt about it. He would definitely die. At this moment, the first thing he thought of in his heart was flee. However, when he was preparing to escape, the Tathagata divine statue above Long Fei's head was shaking and distorting, and even Long Fei was unable to take it anymore, spitting out a mouthful of blood with a face as pale as paper. Limit! Long Fei had already exceeded the limit of what he could endure. The limit of the limit. But right now, he really could not endure it. Even with the strength of the peak realm of Venus, he might not be able to endure the pain he was in right now. Ah! Long Fei roared. The deity statue seemed to have become more solid. It bellowed out loud. Damn it, who else is there? Puchi! Another mouthful of blood sprayed out. At the same time, the 11 Holy General-S who were struck into the core of the earth by Long Fei began to revive. Long Fei's face tensed up. Even the purple Sun Buddha was not enough to kill Holy General. This time, it was really terrible. He couldn't take it anymore either. He could feel that his lifespan was running out. He couldn't hold on any longer. He really couldn't take it anymore. Chapter 1883. Long Fei's Choice. Chapter 1883. Long Fei's choice. After using all his trump cards, the remaining strength was definitely not enough to contend against the infinitely resurrected 12 Holy Generals. Moreover, Long Fei could not release anything in his current state. He was bleeding from all 7 orifices, and his entire body was being crushed by an unbearable pressure. Although he had been forcibly enduring it, but he really couldn't take it anymore. The purple Sun Buddha was indeed strong, but it still could not kill the nerves. If they don't find their true forms, they will never die. Wang. Crack. The purple Sun Buddha above Long Fei's head continued to distort and deform. The power of Buddha had already started to disappear. Its speed was like a dam releasing water, was completely out of Long Fei's control. Young Lord. The life-snatching scholar spoke with a deep voice. Long Fei said, I can't leave. This might be the calamity that I had encountered in the ancient holy battlefield. Hurry up and escape with your life. Don't worry about me. I'll be back. Tribulation. The last time he was in the palace, he was not in any danger. Later, Long Fei found out that it was not considered his misfortune in the ancient holy battlefield at all. What about this time? Could it be? His father had predicted that he would face a great calamity in the ancient holy battlefield. However, he did not say that he would be able to make it through. Even if he couldn't, Long Fei wasn't afraid, because he still had a clone in the Chaos Realm. If he was given a few years, he would be able to break through the shackles and descend upon the Chaos Realm again as a magic body. So what if he died? Using the power of God's suffering force and God's Stellastone to fuse with the God's Bone taboo to create a magic body, he was Long Fei's last path of retreat. Thus, after entering the ancient holy battlefield, he was fearless. Dead. He still had another body. The life-snatching scholar did not move and only said slightly, "The reason why I've waited 1,000 years for you is to protect your life. Even if I was born for you, I would still die for you." This was his mission. This mission had been branded into his life from the moment he was born. That was why he was able to meet Long Fei's mother. Long Fei shouted, "What do you mean, die for me? If you take me as your young master, leave right now." The life-snatching scholar remained unmoved. He looked at Long Fei and said softly, "Young master, I won't allow anyone to harm you." And then, his eyes were incomparably firm. He was determined to make a strong choice. Long Fei's heart trembled. He felt that something bad was going to happen. At this moment, boom! An explosion occurred in the depths of the earth as a figure of light rose up from the ground and flew into the air. Buzz! The energy exploded, forming a powerful shockwave that covered the entire sky. Holy General resurrected. He once again stood in front of Long Fei, and this time the aura of power was a bit stronger than before. The energy of destiny was even thicker, and two ice-cold eyes were staring straight at Long Fei. Boom! 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 The sound of earth exploding could be heard one after another. Holy General, after another shot out from the depths of the ground, landing in midair. The 11 Holy Generals surrounded Long Fei once again. Zhu Tianma laughed out loud. "They have been resurrected. They have all been revived." Ha ha ha! Long Fei, let's see how else you can be arrogant. Not only have they revived, their powers have become even stronger. Look at Long Fei. He can't hold on any longer. The Buddha statue above his head has become thinner and no longer has any signs of strength. Ha ha ha! Long Fei, your time is up. Zhu Tianma was almost shaken to death by Long Fei's Purple Sun Buddha. However, the revival of the Holy General made them even more excited. Holy General, unstoppable. The infinite revival stage was invincible on the demonic island. Prove it again. This world was controlled by the gods. Who could fight against them? No one. Long Fei looked at the 12 holy generals sinisterly, his brows knitted together. His holy power value was about to run out, and once his holy power value was used up, the aura of the Purple Sun Buddha would completely disappear. Suddenly, the aura on life-snatching fist moved. It was also at this time. Long Fei frowned and reacted immediately. He grabbed onto his life and said, "I do not need anyone to die for me. You too." He wanted to take his life and self-destruct. As long as he could grab hold of 12 holy generals, Long Fei would have a chance to escape. But he was suddenly pulled back by Long Fei. The life-snatching scholar said, "Young lord, Long Fei shouted, "Don't think I don't know what you want to do. I already said, I do not need anyone to die for me. I do not care about your mission. Since I am your young master, then I am your current master." The life-snatching scholar was stunned. "Young master, I don't regret doing anything for you." "I will regret it." Long Fei stared at him. The life-snatching scholar had been given by his mother to boast of, and not as cannon fodder for him to die for. The life-snatching scholar said, "Young master, you've seen the current situation. If I don't die, you won't be able to escape." He was prepared to die. Long Fei said, "I have never thought of escaping. Moreover, I have already thought of a countermeasure. And if I can't escape, you can—" While they were talking, Long Fei grabbed the life-snatching scholar's hand, exploding the last bit of purple Sun Buddha and directly throwing him out of the encirclement. He shouted, "Run!" Whoosh! Rumble! The life-steal scholar was incomparably fast, and he did not even have time to react. In an instant, he flew out a few thousand kilometers. After doing all this, the qi around Long Fei's body suddenly dropped. All his holy power value were exhausted, the purple Sun Buddha disappeared, and his body could no longer hold on as he fell from the sky. Bam! Boom! He heavily smashed onto the ground, black blood continuously gushing out of his mouth. His health point was decreasing, and even if Holy General didn't kill him now, his health point would probably fall out of him as well. Am I going to die? The corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up slightly. With a gentle smile, he muttered, "I will come back again. I swear. I will definitely come back." Long Fei's heart sank even more. This trip to ancient holy battlefield was about to end, but he did not even know where the ancient holy battlefield was. That's the hardest part. If he wanted to change the laws of the world, it's not that easy. Change the world. It was too difficult. Boom, boom, boom. One after another, the Holy General S landed and coldly looked at Long Fei. At this time, Zhu Tianmo laughed complacently. "Ha ha ha. Long Fei, have you become a dead dog now? In the end, you actually chose to save your servants. I have to say, you're a brainless person. Now prepare to die." 12 holy generals took a step forward. At this moment, a simple sentence came out. "Amitba." An old monk walked out from the darkness. Chapter 1884, The Time Controller. Chapter 1884, The Time Controller. Amitba. With that light sentence, the 12 holy generals suddenly stopped. Their expressions also changed drastically, as if they had felt an incomparably powerful force threatening them. He stopped. 12 pairs of eyes focused on the old monk that walked out of the darkness. Long Fei laid on the ground with his face turned, looking at the old monk that was slowly walking out. He muttered, "Sweeping monk? What are you doing here? Get out of here." One of the 2 old monks who were guarding Devil Temple. As for their names, Long Fei did not even know them, but Long Fei liked to call them Sweeping Monk. How strong was he? Long Fei didn't know. No one knew. However, Long Fei knew one thing. An old monk that could guard the Devil Temple for 1,000 years, he was already extremely powerful just by being able to live for 1,000 years. However, no matter how strong they were, it was useless. If they did not kill the 12 holy generals, they would not die. Where did this monk come from? "Get the hell out of my way." An elder of the Destiny God Palace shouted. He landed a step in front of the old monk and waited for the old monk's reaction before kicking him. However, 10% of a second before the kick landed on the old monk's body, it suddenly became empty. That elder staggered and almost fell to the ground. At this time, the old monk was already standing behind him, continuing to walk forward. It was as if nothing had happened. How preposterous! "You old thing, go to hell." As soon as he finished, a cold sword came out and pierced towards the back of the old monk's head. A cold light flashed, and the sword intent was like lightning. It was extremely fast. However, the strange scene occurred again. The old monk returned to his original position, and as if nothing had happened, he stood behind the elder and slowly walked forward. Everyone around was dumbfounded. Was this speed? or a demonic art. He didn't understand at all. Long Fei blinked his eyes and thought, "Damn it, what is that? Was it an illusion? That's not right. It's impossible for all of us to see an illusion. What's that?" The feeling Long Fei got was that time was suddenly fast forward, and then it suddenly came back. What kind of power was this? It was hard for people to understand. Zhu Qianma frowned. His eyes became cold as he coldly asked, "Monk, what are you trying to do?" The old monk clasped his hands together and said, "I'm here to save him." Zhu Qianma squinted and asked, "Save who?" The old monk's eyes were empty. His face did not have any expression, looked at Long Fei, who was on the ground, and said, "Him." Zhu Qianma said coldly, "Do you know who we are? Do you know what happens when you go against God? Don't think that just because you're a monk guarding the devil temple that you're amazing. In front of a god, you aren't even a piece of dog shit." He had also been to the devil temple. Thus, he recognized the old monk at a glance. The old monk had no expression on his face as he said, "There is no God in this world. The so-called God is just the fear in your heart. As long as you can get rid of these fears, you can—" Without waiting for the old monk to finish speaking, Zhu Qianma shouted, "Stop with the bullsh *T. I think you have lived for more than 1,000 years, an old thing like you should treasure your own life." The old monk continued to walk forward and asked, "And what is life?" "That is just a tiny part of my lifespan, right?" He slowly walked forward. There was no aura. It was very calm. This feeling was like that of an otherworldly expert. "Great clan elder, why are you wasting time with him? Kill him." "Yes. Isn't it just the devil temple guarding the door? Now that we have the Destiny God Palace, the devil temple is nothing. Old fellow, you still dare to save people in front of us? Kill him." A few of the young elders' eyes were filled with killing intent. Zhu Qianma smiled slightly. "Did you hear what they said? As long as I give the order, they will kill you. There were holy general around. They wanted to save him. Can you do it?" The old monk said, "Whether you do it or not, it all depends on one word. This word is called do." Zhu Qianma's face turned sinister as he shouted, "You refuse a toast and eat a forfeit. I think you've lived enough." As soon as he finished, a dozen Black Star realm powerhouse rushed towards the old monk in unison. They all displayed their killing moves. 12 holy generals watched coldly and did not make a move. Their eyes were Destiny God's eyes. The moment they see the scene, they would immediately respond to Destiny God. A dozen or so powerhouses rushed over. The old monk still had the expression of an oil lamp withered, his 2 eyes empty, his spirit lifeless, his emaciated body lightly walking forward. He did not look at the powerhouse rushing towards him. It was as if everything had nothing to do with him. Drip, drip, drip. 3 seconds passed, and all of the powerhouse's killing moves failed. At the same time, the old monk did nothing, but he walked out from the encirclement, calm. His eyes were empty. Long Fei was dumbfounded. "Awesome. Too awesome. This is the real Tiger Man. This is the highest realm of posturing." He really did not think that the old monk could be this powerful. He looked like he would fall down from the wind, but he was deeply hidden. He was truly an otherworldly expert. The dozen or so powerhouses that failed were incomparably enraged. He turned around and moved. He attacked once again. This time, it was even more ferocious. "Old monk, go to hell. Let's see where you can hide this time." "Old man, I don't believe that I can't kill you." Boom! A dozen or so attacks fell in unison. Time seemed to flow slower than usual. Drip, drip, drip. After 3 seconds of silence, The old monk returned to his original position. It was as if the two previous attacks had never happened. Ghost. This monk knows a demonic art. What's going on? Are you a human or a ghost? Not only them dozens of powerhouses. Long Fei was also wondering if the old monk was a human or a ghost. Time reset. This is impossible, unless... Suddenly, Long Fei looked at the old monk, his heart fiercely shocked. Could it be? Is he like his mother, comprehending the profound mysteries of time laws? This was the only explanation. The old monk did not use any techniques, nor did he have any speed. He was like the controller of time. This power, too terrifying, unimaginable terror. Jiu Tianma's expression changed, looked at the 12 holy generals, and said, "Lord Holy General, it's your turn to take action." You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.